Okay, good evening.
There's two missing.
Today is Monday, January 27th, 2020. It's 6:15 p.m. This is a meeting of the Hanson Recreation Commission. We are in the office of the main lodge at Camp Kiwanee. This meeting is being video recorded. And those in attendance are Diane Cohen,
Brian Frizzetti.
Joe Frizzetti.
Melissa Scartesi,
Billy Boyle.
Dory Jamison.
and in the audience we have Selectman Matt Dyer and
Linda Cole from
And
Indian
Linda
Trail.
Cole. All right. Board members that are missing are John Zuko and Judy Hartwell. Okay. Before we do anything, let's welcome Dory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very pleased to be here. Today marks the beginning of my fourth week. So I don't even know where the time's gone, but I have to say everybody's been so warm and welcoming and helpful, and it's been a joy so far. I truly love it. Billy's amazing to work with. The caretakers are fantastic. Everyone at Town Hall is so nice and welcoming.
Yep.
And it's fun. Everything that I do here is fun. So it's a beautiful place. People they want to be here. They want to book events. I mean, it's just, I absolutely love it.
Good.
So I'm
Well, I
proud
hope
to be
you
here. So
continue
thank
to
you.
feel that way.
Thanks.
And we'll try to.
4 weeks, it's a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
True. All right. Well, thank you. We're glad you're here too.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go out of order a little bit in the interest of time for Linda, right?
Yes, thank you.
No worries. Go right ahead.
Okay, first I want to say thank you for going out of order. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to make myself make a meeting in Halifax that I'm working for their finance committee.
It's always the same people who do everything.
Right. So I just wanted to pop in. I don't know if you saw the email that I sent to Bill on the 8th grade parents. I don't know if any of you are familiar, but
I'm an 8th grade parent.
there you go. So you know we normally have what we call the rec dance, short for the recreation dance, every year. It's been since I was young, so I want to say at least 30-something years that they've been doing it. It's typically held at the school, but it's never been a school-sponsored event. So it's hosted by the 8th grade parents. The school facilitates every child being able to be invited. They put the invitations out for us in a year. So I worked on it a couple years ago for my sons, and now my daughter's in 8th grade. So I came up as a representative of that. What we're trying to find out is the school has let us know that they'd like to see a shift away from holding it at the school. There are a lot of stipulations involved when we hold it at the school. When we cover the walls, everything has to be flame retardant. Any materials we use, same thing. There's obviously a lot of expense to the parents because it's just whatever parents happen to agree to contribute. So obviously not the whole class, and that's fine. Not everybody can do it. But not just that, but there's some issues with getting staff volunteers and different things like that. So they had asked us, or they had encouraged us to seek other venues to do that. I know that I personally, and I feel a lot of the parents as well, feel, you know, that's a very Hanson thing, the rec dance. You hear about it all the time, the rec dance. Every kid grows up knowing about it. And Camp Kiwanee is a very Hanson thing as well. I mean, this is a beautiful facility we have, and if you grew up in the town, you know, we're very lucky to have this available to us for many different reasons. So we're looking to see if the commission would consider letting us host it here. It's May, I believe, I sent it in the email, but I believe the date is the 16th. Yes, thank you. 6 to 9 is typically how we hold the dance, and we'd need some time, just a little ahead of time that day if we can, to... It is. It's election day, town election day, in the Midwest.
On a Saturday.
Yes. We would need to maybe just get in earlier that day to decorate if we could. Obviously working with the commission, Bill, whatever the case is on how the decorations have to be. We did speak a little bit about it earlier. And we're just looking to see if the commission would consider waiving the deposit and rental fee. If there are any fees associated with caretakers, cleaning, anything like that, the parents would be more than happy to pay for it. As I said, we customarily, whoever decides to help out with it, put money towards it anyways, buying materials and things when we do hold it at the school. But we'd love to see if we could hold it here, and we appreciate if the commission would consider it and let us know.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Is there anything on that day?
No, right now it's pretty clear.
It's free, right? write that. Okay. Is there food involved?
So typically when it's hosted at the school, we've done like just individually packaged like chips, pretzels, snacks like that. Individual bottles of water. We try and stay away from anything other than water, truthfully, because the kids, that's better for them, they want it, and they're all hopefully dancing and thirsty anyways. They had talked this year about maybe or maybe not doing pizza. If we did, we know we have to follow the Board of Health, and more than likely, we would contact, exactly, Sir said, we would contact Mike's House of Pizza if we do it, and see if we can work something out with them and then have them serve it because they're already Serve Safe certified. So yeah, that's if we do the pizza. Other than that, it's pretty.
Right, so you go back to the prepackaged stuff, which avoids all of that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We're not trying to have dinner for them, or anything like that. It's just a snack while they're dancing or hanging out or doing whatever the creators do.
Well, the
Pictures
boys
mostly.
stand and the girls dance.
Yes. And they all make TikToks when they get happy together near the end.
There we go. How many kids is it usually?
So this class is actually one of the biggest classes that they've had. That's why they were able to shift the 5th grade up after this class went through. And I believe it's 126 students in the class. Everybody gets invited. We don't want anybody to not be invited, but typically, historically speaking, probably 75 to 90 is the range that we see come. And if we do it, I will just say that we, at the parents that have already discussed it, if we were allowed to have it here, we ourselves are already on the fact that we want to make sure that every child stays within this building, on the porch or within the building, so we will have parent chaperones that are all the way around, making sure nobody steps up those stairs.
Right.
And do you charge the kids?
There's no charge to the children, right?
Really?
Yeah, there never has been. As I said, it's just sponsored by the parents for something to.
Yeah.
The rec dance has always been sponsored by, I didn't know that.
It has, yeah, it has.
Well, not
Yeah.
from here.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just something to kind of get that class to sort of gel before they go into the high school, and then they're going to be able to mix Whitman and Hanson together, and just kind of like a good end of your Hanson experience in the schools.
How many hours do you think you would need prior to set up?
Here I would think less time than at the school because we cover the walls there and everything. So I would imagine just within a few hours, because we'll probably have, I know at the first meeting we had of the parents, we had about 30 parents show up. So I mean, light work if we get 30 parents to do it, right? We should be able to set up pretty quickly. So I would think like maybe 3 hours or so.
Are you talking tables or is it just going to be entirely open space or?
So that I won't say for sure because we kind of were like, okay, let's just see if we can get a place before we get into the exact. But I would say typically not. Probably when we do it at the school, there are no tables. We just do like the snack table with the individual snacks.
Some chairs?
I love
or?
chairs.
You know what, honestly, we don't even do chairs at the school when they've done it before because the kids are all just standing anyways, kind of, as you said, often. We like to think they're dancing because that's the point, but often they're boys standing here and girls standing there and a lot of picture taking going on. We typically set up some type of, we do a theme and then there'll be an area where they can have a photo booth or take pictures. We have a DJ that comes. But no, honestly, we could maybe do some chairs, but we don't have to have chairs. Let me put it that
There'll
way.
be a caretaker here anyway, so.
So if you decide that you need it, then.
Right.
Okay, good, thank you. But tables, I would think we would shy away from altogether, just kind of make it a little more open.
So are you talking, say, 3 to 10?
Oh, sure, hours. Yeah, the
Yeah.
hours, yes.
That's what it was.
No, that's okay. I was back on tables. I was like, no, I don't think we need them. Yes, I would imagine 3 to 10 would be fine.
Okay.
Yep. And we have no issue with setup or cleanup if helping caretakers or anything like that, because that's something everybody that's signing up for this should be used to anyways, knowing that it's goes on that way.
And how many caretakers do you think we would need?
Then we probably only need one.
One?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have
30
the
cats.
chaperone, plus
Right.
they're gonna help clean up so that
Right.
you really won't have to worry about it.
Yeah. So,
By my math, if we can do this, which again, everything's goes to the board of selectmen. If we can do this, you'd be looking at, if it's $15 per hour for one caretaker, 7 hours, you're looking at like $105 overall.
That would be fine, that would be great.
You guys obviously aren't taking in any money, you're not a profit, but there's no money involved. It is for,
Correct.
benefit of the school and the kids, which we've had a little conversation about maybe talking to the school about holding more dances here for the school.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
maybe this is a good handshake to come forward with it. I would like to put forward a motion, pending board of selectmen approval, that we rent out to the parents on May 16th from 3 to 10, maybe even an hour extra for cleanup. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine, thank you.
So you're looking at $15 an hour for 7 hours would be $105. Again, pending board of selectmen approval.
Waiving the,
Waiving the fees, deposits and all that.
anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, I think it's a
I'll
good
just ask
idea.
the chaperones to make sure nobody's stomping on the floor with heels or, you
No
know,
clogs.
Irish stepping and,
Because I
all of
know
that.
the fourth
We
grade-
will try, I'd be amazed if we get them to dance at all, but we will certainly watch out for that.
And they'll all be in sneakers.
Because I
Okay.
know the PTO is doing a fourth grade dance at Valentine's Day, and they're doing it at the Indian Head School.
Yes, probably,
Just
they do the
publicized
sweetheart
it.
dance, I think, yeah, they
In the
started that a
fourth
couple
grade?
years ago.
Fourth grade.
It's like a daddy-daughter dance, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Yeah,
They say that the person that
I
they
feel
bring
better.
with them is.
they don't call it daddy-daughter, I think, because, you know, obviously
Right.
different
Yes.
situations, I think they just call it the sweetheart
But
dance
I'm
at this
okay with
It
that.
point.
comes before, it has to be 18 and over that
Yes.
they bring with them.
Oh my.
I was in today, I just noticed it today.
Oh, that's
Case
cute.
report.
They're super
Okay.
cute.
So there's been a motion made to.
Second.
Okay, seconded. All those in favor? Okay, that's unanimous.
Fabulous, thank you so much. I
Oh,
will
thank you.
share the news and I know it'll be very well received, I really
Great.
appreciate that.
Thank
We
you.
encourage other events as well.
Oh, good. I encourage you to get as much as you can. Yeah, I was saying, I grew up in Hanson, and so I live right down the road. I've been coming here my whole life. It's a wonderful facility. They've done so much with it over the years, in the past, now, and everything. So it's great to see it
It
getting
would be
used.
nice to get more, so if people have ideas about events or programs they want to run, that would be great.
Fabulous, thank you. And thank you again. I apologize that I have to leave early, and I really appreciate
No,
that you took
it's
me out of
fine.
order.
We appreciate it.
Off to the next finance committee.
Thank you, Linda.
Have a good night.
You too.
Take care.
Thank you. And I will be back in touch with the two of you.
Okay. Great. Okay, do we actually have any minutes from 11:18, 12:02, or 1:06?
I have the audio from 1/6. I didn't have a chance to transcribe, so I sent it to Billy
Yeah,
today.
I just got it earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we can get it.
What about 12:02 or 11:18? No, we don't
Same
have.
thing,
Do
we
we have?
have to do the video audio
Okay,
and then transfer it over to get.
I think one of the meetings had a video, didn't it?
It was just video, I thought. I thought the audio wasn't working. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
The first one, I think, was just a video.
Yeah.
So it would
With
be-
no audio?
Unless
The audio-
unless the camera.
Just-
I'm sure the camera
The
picks
camera,
it up.
yeah. Yeah, anything on, that gets posted to Whitman Hanson.
Right, has
Yeah,
both,
has-
right.
yeah.
So, okay,
That would be the first one, I believe. So
well, maybe we can
why don't you do it, fill it up on YouTube?
I'll
catch
check,
up.
I'll check you too.
Another time.
The other two.
I'm certainly not gonna, make it a huge issue right now. Okay, so we don't need to approve them because we don't have them. When you have them from 1:06, let me know, and if you need me to do anything with that, let me know.
Do you want Dory to do them, or is that not?
How do you feel about that, Dory? Do you feel like you could take on some of that?
Yeah, oh, sure, you have it as on a recorder?
Yeah, I sent it to Billy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'll shoot it
absolutely.
over in the morning.
And
Yeah.
it's really simple, you don't have to do.
Yeah.
I did too much detail when I did it.
Yeah.
When I
But
was-
you've probably done it before anyway.
When I was first doing them, I was like, everything that everybody said, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Green
If you
does.
can get access to the 11:18 meeting on cable,
It'll be,
Or
on the YouTube.
on YouTube, that would be great.
On the YouTube, on YouTube.
On YouTube, whatever, I'm old, okay?
No, I said the YouTube.
Okay. So moving on, department head update. Oh, sorry.
Excuse me, Madam
Yep.
Chairperson. What about the December 2nd minutes?
I don't think we actually, if I'm not mistaken, John had the camera, the audio recorder for that.
He would have sent it
Yeah.
over by now. if he
You can
did.
ask him for a file, he must have the file.
If he has the file, I'll have him send it over. If
Yeah,
not,
and that one, I believe, because I was, yeah, so we should have a video of it too,
okay.
so.
So if we can find
Okay.
those, that'd be great. Okay,
We'll track those down.
you're on, Billy, department head update.
All right, update, we can start with just some of the facility stuff. So, north end is done with locks and hasps. South end, 7 cabins are done, so they get 9 to go.
North end is done with locks.
Yeah, the locks and hasps.
Yeah.
Now again, so on the screen, so they still have cabins in the north to do. But
Yeah.
again, we don't have to purchase any more screen material. So is it a matter of just closing out the monetary piece of it, or?
It is, but I don't want to close out the monetary piece of it until we know we absolutely are 100% sure we don't need any more screening for this.
Yeah, I mean, well, from what the guy said, we'll be able to do everything that's needed in the north end, and we're still gonna have material left over. Just from
repair.
the, yeah, to repair.
I'd like to have enough to make repairs,
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, I'll confirm it again, but they said we'll get to, we have all the screen we need, and they said more than likely there'll be a good amount left over.
Okay,
So yeah, if it's just a matter of closing that out, I will double confirm that with them, but yeah, we shouldn't need any more, we shouldn't need additional monies for the screens.
okay, so I don't want to close it out yet until,
The rest of
I
the
hear
work
you
is-
guys,
We have some doors and other things that we.
because all of that money was to make repairs to the north end cabin, it didn't just have to be.
So it's not
screens.
just for screens?
It's not just for
Oh,
screens.
okay, well,
So if there's any, and there is money left
Yeah,
in
there's
that,
Yeah.
there's $23,000 left that
Okay.
we can use to repair north end cabins. So if there is something that we can prioritize,
Which would also mean like the,
and the locks and
Fronting
everything can come
cabin.
out of that for the north end.
okay, well,
Any kind of repairs and security, things like that can come out of that for the north
Okay.
end.
so I'll have to talk to Todd to see if there's a way that we can split off some of that cost then.
Okay,
I can ask him about that.
thank you. Brian, do you know of any, is there,
Not at this time, we can't even look at foundations right now.
because of the weather?
Start getting frosty and everything else coming up.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Early spring.
so if I report back to CPC though, I would like to tell them that,
we need to
The
take down
phase of
3
the screening
cabins,
is
we
done.
know that. Move or take down, yeah.
I'm not, we can't do that with that money.
Yeah, it's only for repairs,
It's for
correct?
repairs.
But we could possibly, in sticking to that framework, utilize much of the cabins that need to be moved, right, into another location? So say we have one of those that's leaning, or,
On the edge.
It's on the
Yeah,
edge, ready to
teetering,
fall off
yeah. so if we're able to, say, move that to a nicer spot and.
And then
make
repair.
Yeah,
With the top, is it Hickey? Who's the
That-
CPC chair?
or even,
Yeah.
You'd have to ask him, because I know at the meeting you were at, he said that they did change some of the wording around.
Yeah, they did.
So maybe or maybe not on it. It would be nice, but
You
They
might
may
consider
require-
not doing that because the rigging costs to move those off the hill,
way too much.
way too much. Maybe we just knock them down and see if we can use that money to purchase a new one and put it somewhere else. I don't know if we have that flexibility. But if you're gonna get hell more rigging in to do those cabins, it's gonna cost you a fortune. It won't be cost effective.
We'd be able to build 3 cabins for what it would cost to
Probably
get
at
the
least
thing.
do
Yeah.
one for one, maybe. By the
Yeah.
time
And
you
that's-
knock it down, that's not the heavy cost, it's
Right.
rigging it, and moving it over, and it's not structurally sound. You might
It
consider,
might fall apart in the air anyway.
you might consider that handicapped option, at least for one, if you got that 20,000, but I don't know what the
So
rules
is
are.
that something, would it behoove us for me to go to a CPC meeting just to get more clarity on it? Do I need to go to an actual meeting or just follow
Let
up
me
with?
talk to them first and follow up and get some
Okay.
clarification on exactly how that's being used. And then when we meet again, maybe you can come and present what needs to be on a priority list.
I mean, if we're still in the north end
I
cabin,
mean,
we're
if you want to
taking
go to
them
another
off the
meeting,
hill.
otherwise you can just give me the list. I'm sorry?
If we're taking them off the hill, we're still in the north end, it's kind of a repair, it depends on how,
It is, I want to
It
see
just-
what, I
yeah.
want to see what kind of flexibility there is in the wording.
especially if we introduce the handicap, that might give us a.
And
Right.
maybe if we're at least even able to cannibalize them and utilize pieces, then we're still repairing cabins that were
Right,
there.
that's what I was gonna say, but.
Yeah.
Well, we have one new one, well, fairly new one there anyway, so.
Cabin 15, right?
15,
For
yeah.
all that things.
Things meant, but it's in the wrong spot.
All right,
Actually, they'll
so
all be
maybe as a measure, as a preventative measure to, you know, for damage and damage control and stuff, maybe we could use some of that money toward moving.
Yeah, I mean, we can have the order, bring it down, put it in roll-offs, save the cost of moving it, and then we take those costs and shift it to a new cabin that's handicap compliant in an area that's near the septic, that no septic hookup that we built for it. I think it's probably a wash. We might gain some good PR from it.
Okay. I'm
That's a
wondering,
pretty-
because I know some people in some towns, when they zone, like if you wanted to add a garage or something, you know, or repair a garage, you have to use the exact same footprint and take it one wall at a time to meet the zoning requirements. So let me look into all of that.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
we could stay within the same square footage because you replaced the cabin
Right.
before. so.
Okay, let me find out the requirements. Okay,
Right.
continue, Billy, sorry.
They've been doing a little bit of brush clearing, some debris. And then downstairs, so they've been prepping and getting the ceremony benches, sanding them down, painting them, getting them all looking
Nicer. Did you
nicer.
pick a color?
So it's gonna be the green,
Okay.
but it's gonna be
Fresh.
fresh and not
Clean
chipped
and-
and
yes.
not gross.
Great.
And not pooped on, because we also got those things to go along the pipes to keep the birds from roosting. So part of the trouble we're having too is that birds were roosting up top and then just pooping all over the deck and the benches. So we bought.
We don't have gutters around there, do we?
No, it's just,
Where are the-
again, old piping. I don't know if it's part of sprinkler system stuff or whatever, but there's piping that runs along out here and they like to roost on it. So in the troubled spots, we earlier in the season I did put up those kind of bird guard things, whatever you call them.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a phone number too. I would like to book early a spraying around for bees and stuff, because, do we need to talk to Phil about that?
Probably.
I think if you use the county mosquito place or whatever, that they use, that's from the conservation, if I'm not mistaken, they also approve it, because they're the ones that send out the those sprays.
or mosquito?
But, no, bees. I need somebody to spray for bees around the actual perimeter of this lodge. Mr. Dyer, do you have any,
It's probably a Phil question, right? I mean, he'd at least,
He might be able to point you in the right direction, but I think you can just call any bug guy, because the mosquito extension, or
That's
just sort of
straight
deal with
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes.
right.
Yeah. So I would just call.
I can call a guy that I know and.
Yeah, there might be some people on contract with the Commonwealth, just, just in case it gets to that point where you might need to bid it out. But, yeah, I would just call an exterminator to walk around, or even,
Well, we don't have to worry about that if it's a one-man show,
right,
right, which I do know somebody.
Well, the town probably has a preferred vendor for all their buildings, right?
to be honest with you,
I
I think
doubt
it'd
it.
probably just be Brian Clemens going around with a spray can and just, to be honest with you,
Okay.
If you've got
The
Hanson,
schools,
it's usually John Phillips that was
Yeah.
next door to me that does that's.
Alright, so anyway, can we find out if we have a preferred vendor on a, I don't wanna call him an exterminator, but
Spraying, just.
bee spraying.
yeah.
Just specific to bees and wasps, so that we don't have our guests being stung and the brides freaking out. And, if not, we'll start getting some phone numbers and just book it really early
Yeah.
to whenever they think the best time is. Okay.
So yeah, we also inherited a few other benches, I think. from, I think they were sitting over at Highway maybe, old,
Really?
natural wood. Either that they may have been ours that ended up over there and now they found their way home. But yeah, Ed was able to get, I think, there's another 2 or 3 benches that won't be used. They're gonna be separate from the wedding stuff, but we'll be able to put them out in front here. He's got
That
them
would be
over.
nice.
Yeah, he's gonna sand them and urethane them, and he's doing it over there because the chemicals, it's very flammable. And he said if he did it down there,
Because the heat.
That
yeah,
was
it's right
included.
next to the heater. He's like, I'm gonna do it over there. It's a lot safer.
Yeah, let's not light a match here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we've had enough.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Anything on the windows that don't open?
Ones in the,
no, I mean, he said we're gonna have to bring in some kind of contractor to do it. I initially was told that we could get like an overhead door company or whatever, and somebody said that no, it's gonna have to be, I think, even more specific than somebody that does garage doors.
Brian, do you have any? Either Brian?
Which doors?
The large windows, the ones that go into the floor.
They need the heavy chains brought out, because they go up and down.
And right now they don't open, and it really is a nice effect if you can open the entire,
So they can look outside.
so they can have access.
Yeah,
I
I know a vendor, but he's out of Taunton, or, since Bedford, Warren and Pepin.
Do you want to exchange number or give the number later?
Yeah.
He's a what kind of vendor?
He does overhead doors, with the big buildings, I'm sure he could do something like that. That's kind of a,
It's really
Special.
It's a
specific,
weird-
it's really,
is
I
it,
know.
it's chain driven or ropes?
Train
Chain.
driven.
It's got like a 70 or 100 pound counterweight hung on chains. And it's 2 different ones, so you have to be on either side, you push them up together, and then the windows come down.
Yeah, it's definitely a
So,
two-person
yeah,
job, all the time.
well, yeah, to do the windows, but also, I mean, the crew that's gonna have to come in, they're gonna need probably like
Yeah.
hydraulics and stuff to hold it in place, because those doors, I think Ed said anywhere between 500 to 700 pounds. So there's no way that you could literally man people underneath them, it just.
All right, let's start with the overhead door.
That would be the easiest
And then
way
maybe
to go.
he
Yeah,
can-
and then if he can't do it, he's at least
He might
in
have
that
an
field.
idea.
And maybe he will even have a suggestion, and we can find out what it might even cost to automate, Just saying, because it's so much cheaper in the long run to do that if you can,
Yeah,
so.
508-997-5300. And the owner's name is Curtis Pepin. P-E-P-I-N. Yeah, and they can do a lot of things. If
you
want.
said they're out of Taunton?
Yeah, well, I think more towards New Bedford.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
187 is a.
But they travel everywhere.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So that takes care of benches and outside.
Benches and outside, actually, yeah. Our chandelier, maybe 2 weeks ago now, snapped and was just being hung up by the electrical cord. So Dan Brown came in. That's why he didn't have any brass hardware, but, and he said he's never seen something like that happen.
Of course.
Right?
No, just
So-
happens here.
So I mean, it's emergency, it's up.
Well,
I mean,
God
we may
bless
have to look at getting new lighting just because, I mean, it was hanging by the cord. I can't imagine that we want to keep it.
We really need to have the wiring
Yeah.
done here.
So yeah, that was an interesting one. So that I think happened on Friday. Yeah, it was the Friday because then MLK Day was Monday. He couldn't come Monday. He came Tuesday.
Well,
At least
let's be
it's-
thankful no one was
it's
hurt.
Yeah.
Is it frame rotted or is it,
No,
it's not
it,
anchored right?
yeah, he was able to re-anchor it. So the stuff that was anchoring it initially, he had to
Does he
pull
know-
out and redo it.
Do we know why it suddenly fell though? Like,
Well, no, it's just the links. One of the links just
the
snapped.
chain is
The
old.
ch-
The chain
yeah.
was old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
replaced the chain and everything else is gonna double.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how
Well,
long
that
that
was
thing's
nice.
been here, but it's probably longer than me. Um,
Maybe older than me,
yeah.
so
So,
that's saying something.
so he fixed that, he did also look, and he's gonna be back to address some things over Night Bell on the south end. So we did have a tree that came down over here,
Yeah.
was resting on a cabin. The guys have since removed the tree, but it did hit one of the lines as it was coming down. So National Grid had to come out. What they found, and luckily it was before he tried to put the wires back together, is that the south end is being double fed.
What does that mean?
That means it's got electricity coming in from both sides.
That can't be good.
No.
What does that mean? What does that mean though?
It means
It's too
that,
much power, isn't it?
well, it just means that had he not seen one of the lights on and just connected it, you know, we'd have one last guy from National Grid, and we'd be in a lot of trouble. So they found it. We have turned off the main box over in the under the bathhouse, because it's coming in from that end, but then it was also coming in from that end, and then I think over here.
Well,
So
do we
it's-
know how that happened?
They think that one of the years when when the trees took down all the wires, as they just started putting up wires, it may have been an assumption that a certain wire had to go somewhere and ended up connecting it.
No, my reasoning for this is that it's nothing that we did. We don't send people out to wire. That would be on National Grid.
Well, some of those poles are ours. There's only a few that are National Grid, and some of them could have been done privately by
Okay.
people that were
That's what I
contracted with the
wanted.
camp.
Right.
Unless that's, they're considering that redundancy, but it's highly unusual.
Yeah,
You
it's.
have two feeds.
Yeah, it was weird. He said, based on how it comes in, it shouldn't have been doing that. And he said, also because of the way that setup was, there was a wire coming off, essentially their pole, to our bridal and electric cabins. That it's not metered. That was also obviously not them that did that.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Free electricity.
so for how long?
So where do we stand now?
Well, right now, nobody's gonna explode. So, safety being paramount.
So do
The
they?
south end is off right now.
They shut the feed off.
We just turned the main breaker off under the bathhouse, and so that whole side is,
Okay, but when it's time to light up the south end again.
well, that's, Dan's in Texas right now. When he comes back, we're gonna go through, and he's gonna rewire it appropriately.
And you have.
Off
Yeah, can you shut it off?
Just,
on the side?
Okay.
Brian,
All right.
You know what, I've been waiting for this guy to call me all day long, so
You
when
can
does he
step
call me
out
tonight?
if you need
No,
to take
that's
it.
okay, I'll come back.
Okay, so my question is,
I usually don't take it.
National Grid's portion of it is taken care of.
For now, yeah, I
Now.
mean, they're still probably gonna have to call, they're gonna probably have to work in conjunction with the electrician. Just to make sure, again, the wires are going to where they should, and that all wires are accounted for and metered properly. So, I
And when
mean,
is that probably gonna happen, do we know?
I don't know exactly just because he's in Texas, but I know that I think he's supposed to be back either,
Everything's in
I
Texas.
don't know. He'll be back within the next few weeks to at least start looking at everything and diagnosing, and then,
Okay, well,
It-
it needs to be
it's-
done before April.
oh, we'll get that, and I think there's only a few changes that they need to make for it to be remedied.
Safe and
Safe and
legal.
yeah, so there's gonna be two different, he was trying to explain to me, we can either meter it right by the cab, essentially the wire, because we're gonna have to rerun some stuff.
Right.
We can either meter it specifically or just have it fed, because most of it gets fed through, the main box over
Oh,
here.
there.
And then goes through, so we may be able to just do it like that, because a lot of that stuff is metered. National Grid guy also came in today and said because of the way the setup is, our generator does not power this
Right.
side over here, which I don't know if the commission was already aware of that, I didn't know,
Our
but
generator, I thought, only powered
The lodge.
yeah.
the lodge.
See, look, Is he talking about the south side, south end?
Well, no, he's,
Or those cabins?
he's saying the bridle and the 2 electrics. And I said, well, I said, I don't think that it would matter, because I said, those are just seasonal, and I said, we lose power when the trees,
It's-
yeah.
Right,
So I
was
said, I don't
kinda
think it's
the
gonna make
I
a
knew
difference.
that, I don't
Okay.
really, it's not a priority to me right now.
We don't, I
mean,
said,
it'd be
I
great
don't
if
think
you-
we
if you
needed
could,
to.
But I don't think we need it right
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Maybe it's something to think about at some point, because then, of course, wouldn't it be that
Exactly.
during the summer, we'd have something happen?
Somebody's
But-
getting married in Kiwanee.
Yeah.
Plus, if they're staying in the bridal college, they can hear them.
Yeah,
On that note, what Brian said is, let me know when they come, because there might be a discussion to bring in a pad mount transformer for future expansion
For electric
for
cabins.
electric cabins.
And, yeah,
So if we can meet with them, maybe we can start the dialogue. It could be a couple of years out, but
would we be looking over this side to do something like that, or closer to the north?
whichever way is more feasible.
it could be center, it could be right in the center. It could, I would imagine it won't be far from a pole, probably off the access road. From there, you can kind of pipe off that,
Okay.
maybe around this area in the parking lot. And then you can feed both sides, because in the future, that's what you want, is you want to go all electric.
We are gonna have to move toward being electric if we really
Yeah.
wanna make people want to come here.
Okay.
They're gonna, nobody is camping, really camping anymore.
No,
Everybody's
people want to glamp, they don't
glamping.
want to get.
Right,
I mean, you could just get them in here, we can just have a brief discussion, and then from there, they can get a design team, and they can talk to us, it's not gonna cost us any money. Because I
Okay.
like it when you expand and
Yeah,
more money.
and eventually, yeah, it means it's more than one.
okay.
So
Alright.
yeah, those were the biggest things that,
So let's make a note to call Brian and have him meet with Dan and National Grid. What's it called, the pad, the
Pad mount transfer.
pad mount transfer? And it very well may be years away, but, you know
Yeah.
what, gotta get a jump on it,
that we do.
can. Okay,
Okay, moving on, wedding expo update. Again, we got 23 contacts. We've had 1 tour as a result. So Dory came in and gave a tour.
thank you, Dory.
You're welcome.
We have another woman who I've been emailing with, and she's just trying to figure out when she can come down and check it out. But yeah, I sent email correspondence to all of our leads. I sent them the rates and information, lodge application.
Or you sent the email to the list that we got?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sent it out to everybody, just so you know, it was really nice meeting you, here's additional information. We'd love to have you come by for a tour.
So it was just to, it was.
I would like to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was awesome. First of all, I want to give props to Walker Clay. They actually donated the tote bags. We got them all for free.
We need to
So,
have a
We-
formal letter, a thank you
I mean,
letter.
it was like a week turnaround. It was like 2 or 3 day turnaround, and they were able to get all, like, we get 200 bags or something.
Yeah, they're both, yeah.
And we have
gave
leftover bags,
I
because
think
I
we
wanted
gave
to,
out about
I want
100.
to save them for.
So
the
if
next
you
event.
could put together a letter,
Yeah.
Billy, Dory,
Oh, yeah.
one of you, and, we'll sign it
Yeah, that
and
was
send
awesome.
it over, because that's
Um,
huge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it was awesome because the organizers of the event actually ran out of bags. And so they gave our bags out as people registered.
Work.
So everybody was walking around with our bags. With Camp Kiwanee logo on it, and it was amazing. Right?
Yeah, I got a few pictures that I'll post, because one of them was awesome. It's this huge dude that almost looks like Jason Momoa with this floral patterned shirt and then a Camp Kiwanee bag on his shoulder. I
Yeah.
said, that's priceless right there.
Yeah, and a lot of people knew, knew of us. A couple people were actually booked already. I think we had like 1 or 2 booked already. But then a lot of people didn't. Like there were a lot of people from Rockton and like close by Bridgewater
Yeah,
that
no,
didn't even know
Never
about.
heard of you guys.
Yeah, so.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so we definitely got great exposure. There were actually some people that initially thought we were a photography studio or something.
Yeah.
Just because again, well, our table was on point.
Yeah.
So we
You
had,
did a good job.
we borrowed a lot of, again, these
Yeah.
wonderful pictures that were done by photographers. So
Right.
just the way it was set up, people were like, oh, you guys do photography? And we're like, no, this is
This is our
pictures from our wedding venue. They're
Yeah.
like, oh. So, I mean, we got 23 people that responded out of, again, it was probably at least 10 to 15% of the people that were there. Because there's only
Okay.
a couple hundred people.
Thank you for being there
Of course.
on a Saturday, or
Sunday.
Sunday.
Judy was there as well.
Thank you for being
Yeah,
there.
she popped in.
I know, she called me, thank you for setting it up and being proactive.
Yeah, he decorated the table, it was great.
And Julie especially, she was the one,
Yeah.
she's like, give me a notepad. I was like, okay, and she was the one that started getting
Taking
people
email addresses.
to give us their emails, and then it just,
And we had stuffed the rates and the, what else did we stuff in the bags?
there's just like a little letter that I typed up, thank
With
you.
his
for
contact
considering-
info.
Right.
So everyone that got a bag, which is probably most of the attendees,
Yeah.
got the information as well.
So I think that cost us what, 600, 500,
It was like,
For the booth?
yeah,
3.
300?
I got it for 300?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think we allotted money for the bags, which we don't need, because they were
50 for the
donated.
bags and shipping.
Right,
So I mean,
they donated the bags, so we didn't have to spend that money,
yeah.
so.
I mean, honestly, one wedding out of this is gonna more than pay for itself. If we get 2, awesome, and then if we get more than that,
Right.
But it's a good preview for the next wedding.
for the one in,
the
March.
Right.
The one in March is here.
So,
we invited some people to that.
Yep.
I just had 2 things.
Yep.
Well, 3 things. One, great job. And then the second was for the donation. We just have to have that
Submit a
accepted
letter.
by the
Yep.
town, the
Oh,
board of
okay.
selectmen. And then third of all, do we have a nice glossy pamphlet yet for the lodge?
no, not yet, we haven't gotten it.
Don't let get to that work.
But yeah, I mean, maybe since we saved a lot of money, we can get somebody to design one.
Well,
We should get like a pamphlet or like a three-fold.
Right, and that's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
We could get a nice, really glossy thing that you
There
can stuff
used
the
to
bags
be
and put
one
them
here,
right
but
in.
I don't know where they ever disappeared to, I don't know if there's any upstairs or not, but they
Yeah.
used to have the foldouts
I
a long time ago.
suggest that you might reach
I
out
know.
to Webster Printing or Hanson. I mean, I've done work with them and
Well, my sister is a
it
graphic
Ernie Foster?
designer.
Okay.
Part of Webster?
That's what we need a graphic
Sure.
designer.
Webster's
to do.
down on West Washington,
Well,
they
they
did
told me
work
get
on
it
the
for
last
really cheap.
folders.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I can ask her to maybe put something together and
they
take a
will.
look at it.
That'd be great. Does she come out and take pictures or?
Yeah, well, we can use what we have. We have some good ones.
Would we take them from the websites?
And the Facebook posts.
Yeah.
And whatever the
The
photographers
more
email
current,
me.
the better.
Yep,
Yeah, there's a couple pictures of the lodge that still have like the old staircase and stuff in here.
Right.
But there are some new ones that I've seen out there that we can use.
Yeah, we wanna have those, and we'd like to get some of the, new, I don't know what we're calling that, the decking that was done.
Over
you
here?
know, Yeah, pictures on.
There's
it.
that
Oh,
one
yeah.
that he moved from here to there.
Right, that's what I was talking about,
And
yeah.
he also fixed
I don't know
up
what we're
his-
calling it, the pentagon, the octagon, whatever it is. How many sides are on that thing?
They did the one
I
on
think
the
it's-
porch too, that's new, so
Right.
that's what it was.
I'd sometimes call it the helipad, but,
Okay.
and actually speaking of, I guess technically, no. I was gonna say
So,
it's not on the agenda, but I was gonna say in terms of like naming stuff, we were talking about possibly coming up with like, again, we have the library. This could be like the barge room, the Lakeview rooms, stuff like that to
Oh.
give it more
Tell people-
panache.
right,
And especially with, instead of having electric cabin 1, electric cabin 2.
we should name them.
Yeah. So like
Well, with the
oak
Hanson
or cedar, whatever we were talking
200th
about.
anniversary is coming, maybe we could take some historical names
That's a good idea.
and put them on the cabins.
Just give it a little
Get them little
extra.
signs.
Like personal, make it personal.
That sound like a decent idea?
Just do your homework on the characters that you named.
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll have
Well, I'm
to,
gonna talk to Teresa about all of that, 'cause
Yeah.
she'll know everybody, so, okay.
yeah,
So
we'll make
anyways,
sure
right.
historically everything is accurate and depicted correctly and not, again, just, we're not offending anybody. That's the biggest thing.
I don't know if we can pull that off, everybody's so easily offended, anyway,
Lately,
okay.
We'll get as close as possible.
In the meantime, let's talk to your sister
Yeah, well, yeah.
about getting a pamphlet, so that's on you and Billy can,
I'll reach out to Webster Print just to at least
Absolutely.
find out.
they'll
You know,
printers
baseline.
have done it before, they're the ones that did it before
You
they
could do them in like that, I could do like 250, 500.
Yeah.
whatever.
okay,
Um,
that sounds
But
good.
otherwise, I think that it's worth doing again, if we were ever to do a show like that.
Yep.
it was just great to communicate to people and like tell them about this place, so.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
and again, the DJs and stuff there too really kept the room going and
Yeah.
made it interactive. So that was fun. I mean, they had a dance contest and
Well, I'm sure
So-
that's what John's plans are for having it here too.
Yeah.
You
oh,
know?
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like, you know, like, it's brides that are excited to get married, so they're like, you know, they're very
Yeah, I mean,
friendly.
everybody's in
and
a good mood.
Yeah, it's like.
I do want to stress though, in March when we have our own, that we have people directing traffic, that it's very organized, that it's not left to, you know, just willy-nilly so that people will think, you know, appropriately that
I
everything's
thought Kelly took care
organized.
of all that.
I know, but I don't know if, I would like, you know, we need to bring it up to John. I'd like to have somebody at least directing traffic if
Yeah, I think so.
that's the case.
And to just helping people like
Yeah.
park here, don't park there.
Right, and
We may also, I mean, it's probably, we might be able to, if we want to attempt at lining the parking lot, getting that safe chalk,
I do.
we could look at maybe doing that. Might not be a bad
Have you heard
idea.
back from Highway about
Have not yet.
gravel?
No. But speaking of, in that same vein, do we want to do Saturday morning for,
Trees?
yeah,
Yeah.
9:30?
Sounds good. Yeah, when he said I'm up at 5, I was like, yeah, well, I'm not.
Yeah,
On Saturday.
Trees.
We're gonna walk the camp on Saturday. We were going to a couple of weeks ago, but the weather wasn't cooperating, and then
How's the site?
we're doing it this Saturday.
As far as weather.
It's
I
supposed
have
to
no
be okay
service.
this
I think
weekend.
it's supposed to be fine. So, Saturday, 9:30. We'll meet here.
Just in case.
Oh, we may have to put out an agenda, yeah, just in case.
Just a walk through.
In case it's a quorum, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's protection.
Right.
Clouds and sun, 40 degrees roughly.
it's fine.
we can have
Okay.
a beach day.
Okay,
Alright, awesome.
yep.
So yeah, winning it, that, yeah,
So let's look into the chalk and the gravel, just by March,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and if there's, you know,
We are at least getting a sand and salt mix to alleviate, you know, snow. Yeah, I was able to get their hands on inspection materials.
I just want, like I said, I just want to make sure at that event that the lodge presents as best it can.
oh yeah.
Like
I
if
mean, we
the,
bring some of these pictures like out in the
right,
area, you know.
Yeah, well, we might even be able to get like more done,
Yeah,
because I'd just be weird if people are gonna come in here, like if we pull them off the wall, then it looks.
Yeah.
but they're actually going to be coming onto our porch, onto our deck. I want to make sure it's clean, I want to make sure that it's swept and that the benches hopefully will maybe done, or as many as you can
Yeah.
done, or, you know,
Well, I
just-
mean, do we want the wedding ceremony benches out there if they're done?
I don't know, it's March.
I would say so.
Yeah, I would want to give
Set-
people
set
an
it up-
idea.
Set it up to be a wedding.
I would like it to be
Imagine
set up
you
so that
being
people
here.
have an idea, because now they're actually, we have the opportunity to have a lot of people taking an actual tour. So if it can be set up as close to what it would look like
Even
at
if
a
we have
wedding,
a
I think
couple,
it's the
like,
best.
I don't know if I wanna put them all, but yeah, if we did maybe 2 benches either side, kinda here's the layout, we could set up the,
Well, as many as we can, yeah.
yeah, we could set up the chairs in the
I'd
library if
rather
we
pay
want.
the extra caretakers and have as much set up as we can,
sure.
This might be a little bit of a stretch,
okay?
but it might really help with marketing. So if you have your benches out there, right, and then you get those little,
You have a scary smirk on your face. Okay, go ahead.
so you have the benches placed like you're gonna have a ceremony, but then you have like one of those cut out poles, like with the bride and the groom.
Oh, like,
Oh, to put
And
that,
then you have painted on there as well, at Camp Kiwanee or something, to do like a tag. And then people are going to want to take a picture like, oh, look at us, we're
At
shopping
Camp
for our venue. And then people are, oh, where are they looking? Oh, at Camp Kiwanee?
and maybe the view will be nice that day.
Right, right.
Well, you wanted more pictures of our new octagonal deck, there we go.
We could do, yeah, you could have one over there too, or,
So
yeah.
just something funny, or just a photo booth of some sort, or
Well, I think John has a photo booth at through his work.
Yeah, I mean, they usually last time they set up in the library.
Right.
Weather permitting, I mean, we might at least be able to get it under the,
Yeah, March is always iffy.
yeah. 'Cause that's why I was debating too, like, we may be able to put the drop-down windows down if it's a nice enough day, but also, you know, it could be 20 degrees.
Right, we have to wait, we have to wait. I don't know, can we get the caretakers to make a wooden cutout? Put holes in it and get somebody to paint?
We can do that, we might even be able to save time, get, just like a cardboard, if we get like a,
Cardboard even.
a fridge
Yeah.
box and then just cut it out.
And then next year you can do a nice wooden one.
Yeah.
See if people interact with
I mean, I'll see if they've got stuff to do it wouldn't
And we
online
can-
yet, but
Right.
we could at least have something.
If they cut it out, I'll take it to school and have the art teacher do it.
I was gonna say the art department at the high school.
Or the art department.
It's what we want, like, almost like a, just a couple.
Yeah, like a
Just a
guy and
white
a girl.
couple, guy in a tux and a girl in a gown. You know?
I just know that sometimes too, we have weddings of all types here. So,
Sorry.
I know.
Yeah, no,
It's just, I mean, I don't think we
Within
can
reason,
afford-
yeah.
Right, let's just,
I mean, we
Can't
have,
afford multiple ones.
maybe we could just have it change up. You can change the clothes on it.
if you can pull that off by
And what-
March, Billy,
we'll-
you go
we'll
for it.
see. Maybe there's a way we can make it work.
All right.
Um,
Well, let's see, let me know if I need to take it to school or if we can get the art department here to do it.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, we
What else?
jump into waiver requests.
Okay.
So I have two more, so,
So we had one waiver request.
yeah, and so now that goes on to the BOS.
Yep,
Um,
that's for the 8th grade dance.
next one is actually essentially from the town of Hanson, from our town planner Deb, looking to use the lodge Friday, February 7th, 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 for the MVP meeting, the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness. So they need a space. I mean, it's gonna be maybe 30 people or so, but it'll be some people from Old Colony Planning Council.
And it's on February 7th,
Yeah,
which is this
Um,
weekend. We'll be walking it for trees, and I don't think we have
No,
anybody else here.
It's a Friday.
it's next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah, but yeah, there's
You're right,
nothing.
sorry.
And
There's
it,
nothing.
and even if we get something for Friday, it'll be over by the time we would have any sort of evening event.
Okay, do we need a caretaker here? Assuming we do. Right?
I mean, I'll be here for it,
Oh, you'll be here for it though.
so, I mean, we can just have everything set up.
Would anyone like to make a motion to let the town planner have their MVP meeting here at the lodge, waiving all fees associated with such event?
Pending board of selectmen.
Pending board of selectmen.
Do you guys even meet before?
Yep, we're meeting,
Yeah, tomorrow night. you-
well, actually, we're meeting for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, cool, we do
Are
more.
you really? Why?
I'm sorry, make a motion.
So moved.
Seconded.
Everybody would like to second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Okay. Aye.
Lots of stuff going on. Busy time of year.
Yeah, there is.
Budgets.
Budget. That's
That's
another
something
thing
more.
we have to.
Okay, so that one is the last one, well, at the moment anyway. And maybe we need to come back to it because I don't have all the specifics, but it's trivia night at the library. So they're just looking to kind of get that all situated now. All I know is right now the
What's the
date's
date?
Wednesday, July 22nd.
That's a Wednesday.
And I believe they do it 7 to 10 or 6 to 10. I just don't know, I'm trying to go and
Rehearsal
find out.
dinners are usually Thursdays, rehearsals, right?
Yeah, wedding rehearsals Thursdays.
When's
Yeah.
there gonna be yoga, right? Are they at night on Wednesdays? Can't remember.
Yeah, Wednesdays, yeah, yoga.
What time is it at?
What time is yoga?
No, what time do they want to
Oh,
be?
this, I believe it's 7 o'clock. I think they do it 7 to 10.
Yeah,
7
they
to
can
10.
go on
Yeah.
Saturday.
And honestly, yeah, yoga she can do it in the pavilion that day.
Yeah.
or something, so.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe we'll come, we at least get them on our radar, because what I have to find out is I don't know what we did for them in the past. I don't know,
Yes.
did we just give it to them and then cost of caretakers, or you guys remember?
I want them to be a caretaker.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think you guys.
I think we do give it,
You give it and then just ask for the caretakers.
Yeah.
right, I'm pretty sure
there-
that's
Because I
typical.
wanna say I voted on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So you waive the fee for the hall and you just charge them for the caretakers.
Right.
just like we did for
And
the
it's-
dance.
3 hours there and a little bit before and after.
Yeah, there'll probably be some setup and.
So we'll do an hour before, an hour after, and pending further detail?
Yeah, I mean, do we wanna move it forward now? I could probably at least have all the info maybe for next meeting. I just didn't know if you guys wanna just kinda get it out of the way or.
$75.
For 5 hours?
Yeah.
$75 would cost you to get
Yeah,
there.
take it.
Okay.
Motion.
You wanna just get rid of it? Okay, well, I would like to make a motion to let the Hanson Public Library have trivia night here on Wednesday, July 22nd, from 7 to 10, paying for only the cost of caretaker attendance for 5 hours, $75, pending approval by the Board of Selectmen.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay.
That's three,
Alright.
Yeah. Okay. Planning for spring and summer, so I should have been, I guess, a little bit more specific, more so in, prepping for the Cove and
Right.
employees and such. Here we go. So I just wanted to get a feel. Do we wanna have this advertised for February school vacation, which is,
14th.
coming February, 17th to the 21st, so.
Yep.
The 15th. So, saying, have it posted by then, what, do deadlines for applications March 31st? And then interviews April vacation, which would be the 18th to the 26th.
That's for high school kids, and some of the kids are in college, so they're on spring break in March.
Okay.
I would start advertising
ASAP.
right now, because
Right.
Pembroke already has theirs out, DCR has their lifeguards out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we need to
Yeah,
be,
we need to do
and
it
especially
now.
right now, we beat Pembroke's lifeguards by a couple bucks per hour, I believe.
Okay,
Usually at the
So,
beginning of February.
right. So we want to state the rates.
Yep.
Can we do a to and from on the rates pending experience?
From
So if
to.
they come in with their own Red Cross certification and all this other stuff,
Right.
you give them a little more, and the ones that don't have it.
So you can
And we
put-
need to say rates commensurate with experience and
At the end, yeah.
Because
certification.
we usually don't do that, it's usually.
Well, 'cause I found-
money out of it.
When I was digging around here, this is the post, or the ad from 2018, but it just said part-time seasonal help, Cranberry Cove, Camp Kiwanee, hourly rates $11 to 20.
Yeah, that changed, that's all.
Well, I know that change, I mean, it's obviously at least $12.
We need to
up.
update it, and we need to keep the code separate from, I'd like it,
The caretakers,
yeah, I'd
So
like,
we wanna do 2 separate ads?
or just
break it.
break it down within that ad.
I would do 2 separate ads.
You do want to do 2 separate?
Well, the reason why I say that is because when you post it and you're starting to advertise it on LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Indeed or whatever, and you see caretaker / lifeguard,
No,
Yeah.
people are gonna say, oh, I can't be a lifeguard, or I don't wanna be a caretaker.
no, I meant break it down in such a way, that it's listed,
for lifeguards.
caretakers at Cranberry Cove, this much, from this to this for pay, commensurate with experience and
Okay.
certifications, and
You're gonna have
lodge
to
and
find
event
the-
caretakers, whatever the
Isn't it 2 separate
rate
jobs?
is. It's,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
it's 2 separate.
Well,
It should be
I
2
mean-
separate listings.
Well, there's a bunch of different jobs, cause we're putting out for the beach director, for the WSIs, for the lifeguards, the gatekeepers, and then separate from that, lodge, the
The ads
caretakers.
get costly.
Where are we posting? Where do we usually post?
Paper.
Usually,
we can
the
put them online,
Enterprise, the
yeah.
Patriot Ledger,
Yeah.
usually you get better rates with Gateway Media, so which handles both of them, so.
Right.
And then you can also get them on TV, on the
We wanna
Channel 6
flood-
and Channel 9.
The ad. Do you guys want 3 separate ads then?
What do we do? We got gatekeepers, lifeguards, WSI's beach director, but who did we hire last year? Was it an assistant?
Assistant beach
Beach director,
director,
or was it a,
right.
No, it was a
It was
life,
called something
no,
else.
we didn't hire it, it was assigned, it was done after, it wasn't a hire.
right,
It was the person, a lifeguard that was in charge, got a dollar differential when the beach director was not available to be there that day. So it wasn't a separate hire with a separate job
But it's
description.
listed as assistant, it's in the list of assistant, whatever.
Right, but last year we didn't do it like that. We can do it this year.
But that's how it's listed on the playout that they do for the town meetings. In other words, you have the beach director listed, you have the assistant director listed, WSIs, the lifeguards, and the gatekeepers. Those
So-
are all listed separately.
So I think
That's
we
in the-
need,
I would do the
That's what you're gonna
caretaker, I
have
agree
to
with
do
that, I would do the
rates.
caretaker separately because this is kind of a different world.
we need one ad for Cranberry Cove separate, listing all the positions with their pay structure
And I agree.
and that statement saying, you know,
And you're gonna have
Like
to,
pay is
commensurate,
commensurate
okay.
with experience and certification.
because we raised all their rates, so you're gonna have to find the paper that they wrote out, that the BOS approved, that gave them the
So,
minimum
right, we have
wages.
gatekeepers.
Might we wanna put their.
Well, yeah, they went up to 12. They'll go up to 12.75,
Right. July.
July
a
1.
week after these.
But we can't, I don't think we can post the July 1 rate, we have to post whenever it is at the time they're coming in.
Right, so
Right.
it's $12.
So-
But we
12.
can also put that, you know, subject to change
Subject to change with the, whatever, you know, the minimum wage.
according
increase,
to state
right?
requirements.
That's state law, yeah.
Might we wanna put,
Well, maybe, sorry, Brian, not to cut you off. No, go ahead.
might we wanna put, and I don't know if we can do this or not, cause we did go over, you know, low and high for lifeguards, we went through low and high for WSIs, assistant beach director and beach director. Might we wanna add it into our mix, whereas, you know, if you're a gatekeeper, you can expect to make 12 to, say, 14. Lifeguards make between A and B. So that it kinda tells you, okay, if I'm coming in, if I want WSI and I'm already certified, then I'm gonna probably come at the higher end of the scale, because we're usually flatlined at, from this little bit, this great amount, and you fit somewhere in the middle with people not knowing what you're looking at. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Usually if I apply for a job, I kinda wanna know what I'm making.
Right,
I don't wanna see like 12.75 to 12.75.
But
Well, you
I don't
split with
whatever we're allowed to
commensurate with
do.
experience, and that would
Right,
take care of
I'm
that.
not sure how it pans out.
returning gatekeepers will obviously get a little bit of a bump.
Well, they'll get the 12.75.
Right, because that's minimum wage.
yeah, I mean, they're gonna get that bump, but I mean, because again, they all have to, because they're seasonal, they have to reapply anyway, right?
Yes, they do.
I don't think, we're not allowed to say, right, that returning, can we put that out there? Returning staff? 'Cause
No, that's why
technically,
we
they're
can,
gonna go through the hiring process again.
right, but that's why we can put the range.
Yeah,
So we can put 12, what was the original, $12? Now it's going up to $12.75.
Right, it's at 12, but when they're higher, they come in at 12. Which is a big swing.
Can't we
Well-
put as of July 1, 12.75? Can't we do
Probably
that?
Right.
So I would
Well,
like
and
to put that,
okay,
okay?
and because I'd have to look, is there a cap, I honestly have to go and look, because I don't know what it says for
There's always been a
gatekeepers.
cap for $20.
So everybody's capped at 20.
That's what it has
Right.
been in the
But
past.
each position has, if you look at the records when we voted on it with Emma, from last year, each position, lifeguard is low, high.
Right.
and
Yeah, well,
WSI
gatekeepers, I
low.
mean, there's no gatekeepers that
Right.
are making.
Yeah, they're not making
12 bucks
20.
an hour, yeah.
Right.
We don't have any $20 yet. Well, except for the times that nobody showed up and Emma had to do it, but that's different.
Right.
Right. Okay, lifeguard.
And then put-
So let's get the ranges
Okay, so we got the ranges in there and
and the statement about,
commensurate with
experience
certification
and
experience.
certification, and the rate changing as of July 1, as required by law, and separating the cove from the caretakers,
Yeah, so two different ads.
two different ads.
Caretakers, okay, they did beach director, water safety instructor, lifeguards. They also list boat coordinator.
No,
This is what you have to do, this is the town. This is the
We have to
article
put
that
those
you
out
have
there
to-
though?
Well, you don't have to for there,
Yeah,
but I
I say, I don't
mean,
think,
we still have to, and then it does have assistant, recreation assistant, security gate attendants, which is what we call the gatekeeper. But this also has to be worked on, and we have to do these rates too. And this has to be presented to the town by March 6th, but we have to work on them before then. All these pages for the articles for the,
That wasn't built in a day.
No, well,
Not doing that.
well, it's on that list that they sent us a long time ago.
But we have to get this ad out before
Absolutely.
then.
So, priority will be the ad, and then start to push
I
the
would
stuff
just-
to March 6th.
I would just check with the town administrator, because I don't think this has ever been done where you're given a variance. Usually it's like when you applied for the job, it was 22 whatever per hour.
Right, well,
Usually there's not a
with,
variance.
with Dory's position, it's gonna be union, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
And then with these, it's a direct hire, non-union,
Seasonal.
seasonal.
Right.
So,
But I've never seen it put up where it's been like a,
Right.
between this and this, it's always been like
right, so yeah,
12
just check,
to
Right.
20.
yeah, so I was just double check with John. and-
Yeah.
But we really want to get that out
I
ASAP.
think it would be more appealing too, you know, for people to look at WSIs instead of us training people every year.
Well, I spoke
Costs
to,
us a fortune.
I know, and I spoke to the guy that trained last year, Chuck Hickey. He happens to work for the Y when I go there, and he also teaches in Weymouth where I teach. And he said he would do it again, but we need to give him a heads up,
Yeah.
like ASAP. So we really need to know how many WSIs
Yeah, he
we
wants
have.
more than 2 weeks notice.
Yeah. And I, I mean,
Unless
he'd
you
probably
expect
do it. It was a mess, but it got done.
People weren't called back. and
I would
all
also
that
like
stuff.
a list to accompany that ad, of who's offering WSI and lifeguard training. So that if a kid says, hey, I'd like to be a lifeguard, but I don't have my certification yet, where can I go get that?
Okay, are we allowed to,
Lifeguard courses are available at, they do have them at the Y in Hanover right now. I don't know if the Kingsbury Club has it in Duxbury, but they usually do. I don't know when those will be. And there's one other place, and I can't think of it. But let's look around.
okay,
We just spend money every year on training, and it would be nice to say, hey, if you want the job, you can, I mean, a lot of jobs you have to pay for your own training. If you're a mechanic, you have to pay for your own training.
Right.
You know, just simple things like that. Maybe you'll find a lifeguard that does want that extra few bucks and will pay their own training for WSI.
Right.
well, did we make them pay for it, but then we reimbursed them after they got it? We just,
had a lot
they-
of stuff last year.
I think you guys might have did something like that
Yeah.
last year.
I thought it was something like, okay, for the people that are gonna go and get the WSI, we said, okay, pay for it, but then we'll,
Right, that was because we
If they
needed
came
the
back and worked.
WSIs.
if they, yeah,
If they
They're
came back and
return
worked,
employees.
if they returned as employees for the season.
okay.
So is that something we want to do again and do it on our own and I'll get in touch with Chuck? Or do
I
we
mean,
want
It'd be nicer if they're just
to
done.
game with it and be done with it? So that's why we need to
And
get
that's
this
why
out
we're gonna get on it,
there,
yeah.
so that I can get in touch with him by April.
Okay,
And wouldn't we also want to advertise on the website?
Yeah,
Like right away, we could do that right away.
and on the cable access,
Yeah. that's-
Kevin Dodgy's great at doing that.
Facebook?
He did last year for us.
Facebook.
yeah.
Most people use Indeed. That's like the big,
yeah,
It is huge, my son's always on it.
What is?
Indeed.
Indeed.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
.com.
A lot of people go there.
can you advertise on Glassdoor? I mean, it's not as big as Indeed, so.
I think we advertise wherever we can.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, and the very first hire I want to do is the beach director, because they are going to have to put together the swimming lessons, which need to be advertised by April vacation, because that's when parents sign their kids up. We were very late in that last year,
Do we already have a
Well,
couple people
you-
that were suggested?
then we need to hire earlier for we need to interview earlier than
I
for
was
the
gonna
beach
say,
director.
I have to find out, so Jeannie gave me, there's a range of when we can have people work seasonal. So I don't know if we'd be able to have them in for April to do the swimming lessons. That's the only. I mean, maybe there's a way that we can mimic kind of what we did last year and at least put that out there.
Excuse me.
It just
And
has
then just,
Yeah, and it just has to be a beginning and an end date for it to be seasonal.
Then, is that something we would have to petition the Board of Selectmen
I think,
to change?
I think Dory's correct, it's just,
It's just so that it's seasonal, so that it's clear that it's a seasonal employee, a beginning date and an end date, so there's no question, this is a seasonal position.
so we could.
No unemployment
potentially-
ramifications,
Okay.
no,
So
you
we
know,
could
which
potentially
is different
start
than
till April.
part-time. Pardon
We
me?
could potentially have it though, start in April and then run till, because right now the range, it's like May 12th, thereabouts to September 21st.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause
that's
it's
so
usually the
late.
last day that the
Okay.
that's open, actually, it should be sooner
so
than that.
the only thing that I would
It has
say,
to be less than 20 weeks. It has to start and end on a weekend day.
Usually it ends up Labor Day weekend because school has already started, but we do stay open, so it would be Labor Day weekend. That would be the last day.
Yeah, so I mean, if we plan for that, so we could actually gain 2 weeks out of that, we could start.
Right, we would
Yeah.
need to have the 2 weeks on the front end rather than
Rather than the back.
end.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we should,
Labor Day is late this year too, I think it's September 9th, is it?
I think it's, no, I think it's the 7th, because,
and we are open 4th of July and everybody needs to know that. Labor Day is the 7th this year.
so yeah, the last day would be the 6th.
Yeah, Labor Day is
Well, the
the
last day.
7th.
We're open on Labor Day.
Right,
Oh, we're open, so
We are open on Labor Day,
and we close right
Oh,
after that.
then we'll have to close the following Saturday.
which is the 12th.
The 12th. Usually
Yeah, it's-
school is on, that's why they always closed on Labor Day. We have to keep it a week
School's
off.
not on Labor Day.
School, we've already opened,
Right.
I said, but I
Yeah.
think you know, school.
Okay, so school is, over, depending on the snow days in Hanson, I think the 18th.
Of June.
So let's plan on opening the beach. At the very latest, it's gonna be June 22nd, I think.
Don't wanna do it the weekend, the 20th.
Right, so we'd have to, and if school ends the 18th or 19th, we'd have to open on
The 20th.
What's
The
that,
20th.
what's that Saturday?
the 20th.
20th,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so how many weeks is that?
So you're gonna do it till the weekend of Labor Day, or you're gonna do it, just end it on Labor Day?
That's 13 weeks. From that June to the September?
Okay.
Yeah, no, not really. You get 20.
You get 7 more weeks after
Right. That really is only May though. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the last week of
that. Yeah,
April.
last week of April.
And we really want the swim lessons to be established by April vacation. Because that is when parents sign up.
Yeah, well, and I think, because again, I like the structure that Emma was able to create. The kids were in the water longer, obviously they were smaller sessions.
Yeah,
But we may also be able to get another session in
right.
because we're starting it. So
Yeah.
I would say, especially if we can, let's look at trying to mirror that and just add it. Well,
But my question is though, if we're gonna pay a beach director to do that, we have to work within the 20 weeks of hiring. And if we wanna have that established by April vacation, so that parents can sign up by then, because that really is when you do it.
yeah, well, what I'm saying is, like, we would have to be the ones to put it out there and say, here's what the schedule's gonna be, and then back into it with the beach director then.
Okay, so do you think you could put that together?
I'm gonna to look to see how Emma had it set up. I think as long as there's a template, we can take that and run with it.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
It's gonna make a lot more sense than the years prior. The years prior.
It does make more sense to have them in the water
People were
longer
complaining.
and to have shorter sessions.
Yeah.
Because it gives people more variability for vacation.
Well,
planning
vacation,
and
yeah, I
such.
mean, if you get a 5-week session and you go away for whatever period of time,
Right.
you're missing all that, yeah.
And the pay structure can, stick pretty close to it.
But they were in the water limit too.
Right.
You know, they had 45-minute hours instead of half hour.
Right.
But for the jobs, it's also holiday and then they may be on call too, don't forget, that's gonna be important too, that they need to be
Yeah,
on
that
call.
does need to
If
be,
you don't have to pay them, then they're on call only if they get called in.
right.
So having some sort of, on the weekend, a lifeguard on call, is that what we're
In
saying?
other
Yeah.
words, if the crowd is heavier, like last year, we had problems with extra
There's a-
heavy crowds.
Right, there's a minimum of 2 lifeguards and fire department code says we have to call in 3, so you can be on call. You'll get paid if you actually come in.
You just have to be accessible to be called. In other words, don't go traveling to New York.
Well, we want to know, their vacation ahead of time,
Right.
things like that. All right, so let's at least start with getting the ads out there and getting the applications in.
I might be wrong, but I thought I must have it before that date.
Which date are you speaking about?
Before the 20-week period. I thought you
Yeah, she
programmed
started
before.
earlier than the June,
May.
July, she was there for April to do the passes and all that stuff, and the acceptance. She's the one that interviewed the lifeguards and the
But I don't know how she
WSIs.
did that.
No, we did it late last year because she was graduating. She didn't even graduate until May. That's why it was so late.
Yeah, you know, but I thought she came in a couple of weekends prior
Prior to
to
that.
talk to people.
I don't know if she was actually-
Is there anything we can do to personnel? Look at that as well. To increase it. Matt,
Is there anything we can do?
What's that?
for
is
personnel?
there something
Just
we
for
might be
what?
able to do for
Just for that one
personnel
position?
To extend the director position?
Um,
Still call it,
Because
you said 20
you wanna
weeks, but-
avoid the 20 weeks.
like, just for that position, maybe draw it out to 22,
Because
23
Good for
weeks.
her to-
And they don't even have to work every week, listen, if we get a college person in here and they put everything together in a week or 2, and then they don't work the entire month of May, fine.
Let me check in with John about that, just to double check.
Because it would help them probably with the
In other
interview
words,
process,
we pay
working
as
on
you
swim
go,
lessons and all
like
those.
Right, because I think the whole point is like you wanna avoid having that 20 weeks, and if they're terminated for 2 weeks or whatever, I think they may have to be, I'm just going off of what I know with the state would be, if you're terminated, you have to reapply,
Fine,
and
and you can collect unemployment.
you can collect unemployment for those 2
Right.
weeks,
Yeah, I know.
So, let me just check in with John about that and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Unless Dory has any insight
Yeah,
into
no,
that,
yeah, I could check, yeah.
so.
So even if, we could probably keep working, there's plenty of program we need to do anyway, so 4 hours a week.
They can plan the opening, they can plan, all kinds of stuff, but,
Activities for the summer,
right.
to make some money for down the beach, and different things that they might
So-
wanna put on down there.
This is top priority
Yep.
over everything else this week. Okay. Anything else related to the Cove? Anything else related to planning for spring and summer?
And we need to have some activities set up, we need to try and look, see if Maria Isaac will come back, if she's still around,
She
if
was
not,
up,
there's
She
another
was
place.
That was the reptile lady, right?
Yeah. She
I
was
did
ill.
reach out, I don't know definitively, but I
Okay,
know that I was never able to get in touch with her.
all right, so we
There's
need
another one too, feathers, something in feathers.
fins and feathers, I
Yeah,
think it is.
they did a lot of the things last year.
So trying to get a nature program in, just a couple presentations maybe. Also, what was it?
Movie night, you want to do anything on that?
The Cove kickoff. I think the Friends of Camp Kiwanee would like to be involved in the Cove kickoff.
Okay.
And Juvie was going to reach out to them and see how involved they actually wanted to be.
Okay.
So you may want to touch base with her on that.
Well, if I could just jump in for a sec.
The archery and the fishing, if we could start those up again, if you could talk to Colin and Bill about planning those
Yep.
specific dates and how many people we want to open that to.
No, because I was thinking the same thing. The archery we had a problem with last year, the things were free that we borrowed. From them, Bill said we might have a problem this year doing it, depending on the timing of it and whether they have the stuff available or not. Might want to take an inventory of fishing rods, poles and all that. If they're weak, maybe reach out to the Hanson Rod Gun Club, see if they may be able to make a donation because they did the first time out. Because that's probably what they do. And the other thing was I noticed there was a walk from Green Hanson behind us. Maybe we can reach out to Green Hanson and see if they
It's a
can.
what?
They had a nature walk.
Nature walk.
Yeah, they just go out and do walk.
They still, they
And
did
maybe
one last week.
instead of being behind the camp, we might be able to talk to them about coming into the camp with a group of people.
Well, I think they do both, because I think they start at the cove, and that's where the trail starts. So they walk in
Are they
through.
following the Bay Circuit?
Yeah.
They're following Bay Circuit.
But I would
so-
try to see if maybe we can get them to come up and through the cabin
Well,
areas.
when I hosted the walk for them one day,
You can't.
we started here at the main lodge, brought them through the north end, brought them down through the fields, out back, up around Smitty's Bogs, come back through the south end, walk through the cabin area, down through the beach, up along the waterfront, and loop
Which is
right
always
back
nice.
there.
I just don't know what they
Yeah.
did. They just said we walk behind Camp Kiwanee.
Yeah, it depends on whoever they have hosting.
Right.
You know, they might
It
have
would be
someone
nice
that's
to see
just
if they could
focused on,
Come in like Matt did, the more eyes the better. 'Cause
Mhm.
again, like the fire department says during
And
breakfast,
someone with the
stand-up,
knowledge, background knowledge. of
people in
history.
town don't even know we're here. They've been here for years.
I know they're getting bigger crowds on all of their walks, because they did Burridge
Yep.
the other day, and they had pictures of how many were there. They're really increased over what they started out with, like they had over 5 or 6 people. Now they're up to like 12, 15.
yeah.
And they're
Okay,
looking to more, and I know Green Hanson keeps posting it, and I keep wanting to go, but I always have leg problem in the background.
all right, anything else under new business?
Do we have any events planned for the winter?
Oh.
Any Maintenance to it?
Oh, I mean, John's not here. We've had some folks reach out about looking to do dance lessons. It would essentially be a vendor contract set up. I was hoping John was gonna be here, because I believe he's an acquaintance of the gentleman that I spoke to. But they're looking at, right now, the 2 dates they're looking at, March 13th. And then, I'm sorry, March 7th and I think the 13th.
When's the wedding expo?
29th. Yeah, they're looking at 2 weeks in March, and then I think possibly, well, they want to do the first 2 weeks in March, kind of see how it plays out, and then if they're getting, some positive feedback, they want to keep it going.
March what? 7th, 13th?
No, 7th is a Saturday, 13th is a Friday.
Yeah, but sorry, 6th and 13th.
6th and 13th. Okay,
Just one night a week? Is that what
Yes.
it is?
okay. What kind of dancing, do you know?
A little bit of everything.
It's actually pretty big. Line dance is huge.
So, yeah, I believe they're looking to do it, I think like 7 to 10 or thereabouts. And they said they want to have the bar open. So,
Wow.
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but are they allowed to do that as long as they pay the bar permit fee?
Yeah. Well, I can understand that.
They can apply for it.
Any guy I
They
know
know
is gonna
they
need a
can
couple of
apply
drinks
for
before
it.
he gets on a dance floor.
Saying a
We
little
have a bunch
liquid,
of free
little
Wait,
liquid
wait, for the board
courage.
of selectmen,
Little
so.
liquid courage,
Yeah.
Okay,
Do they advertise it, or do you know?
I mean, he's just like, hey, I'm so and so, and I know.
I think that's
John
great.
to go.
so let's ask him what he would require from us. If we can advertise that that's happening at the lodge.
Yeah,
It's not sponsored by us, but,
right.
Just like you did the
Right.
concert.
Right.
And I did.
okay,
So yeah, we would just essentially almost do like the drama kids contract or whatever.
Right.
You've got the lodge from these dates.
okay,
We get 20% of whatever you take in.
right. And the bar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't even have to tell them about it because that's just something we get through the bar anyway.
Okay,
So that's a bonus. If they
Okay.
come in and throw a few back, well, we'll get a piece of that too.
Yeah,
All right.
You just tell them they have to apply for the bar permit.
Um,
To the board of selectmen.
so in the pay, so
$40.
Does it have to go to approval by the commission to do the contract and all that, or can I just go ahead, start meeting with them, figure out the contract, and get it, and we can get it running?
Contract's 80/20 is its standard contract.
Right.
Just the fire permit, selectmen.
Right, the bar permit just has to go through them, but not from us, from
Right,
the
it's from
vendor.
that, yeah.
Right, so.
Yeah, and I told them that, you know, we just obviously need a copy of the
Yeah, just do it.
liability certificate, and then we should be good to go.
Good, yeah,
Alright, so I'll,
get it in the works.
yeah, so tomorrow will be, obviously the Cove advertising stuff, but I'll also start working with him.
Right,
Um,
okay, anything else?
Yeah, as of right now, that's kind of the only program that's looking like it can happen quickly and we can get on that.
Okay,
That's the beginning.
is there is there anything that can happen for the summer as far as down at the Cove other than sweating?
I gotta reach, well, maybe now the conversation's gonna be with John, not Mary. I am still trying to push to see if we can get that inflatable slide
Okay,
and,
maybe
you know, just
some,
make it as an attraction, charge, you know, either get a pass all day or a buck slide and,
we have to get a pass for the library,
yep.
so let's get that in the works. And,
And again, how did we wanna do that? Do we want essentially a pass for each day so somebody can just come and get it and not have to worry about returning? So it's just, this is good for this day and that's it,
that's it,
and then they recycle it.
and it's good for up to 4 people.
Okay,
That's what we said. It's good up to 4 people, 1 for every day that the beach is open, okay, and the gatekeeper keeps it. It goes into the till just as pool's cash,
okay, and yeah, let me just track it.
okay?
Up to 4 people. Alright.
No? Did you want to say?
Yeah, well, on the Google Calendar that the AA usually handles, should be updated as to anything that's more current and everything else.
Oh, I mean, we're putting in stuff every day. It's,
I haven't seen anything new on the Google Calendar because I print them out.
well, I mean, if it's like within the past few days, but I mean, talking about like wedding booking and stuff like that, that's where we're updating it.
Right,
Right, but I'm talking about, I mean, sometimes you have other things that are going on too.
Right, well, yeah, right now, I
That
mean,
should be updated in there. I mean, Google Calendar was only for, we see it. And I usually check every day to see what's new on there, and there hasn't been anything.
so you're just
new.
referring to programming or whatever?
Right.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, the stuff that I've been
Yoga's
updating on
always
that
on here.
is weddings and,
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, weddings, they usually just put down, I mean, you don't need names or anything, but the weddings are put down there. But I mean, like, if you're gonna have this thing in March, the dance, if they do the dance party, that should be on there.
Right, when it's
So-
confirmed.
So the
Right.
Google Calendar is separate from the Google Chrome? Is that the idea? Or are you talking about one
No,
calendar?
there's
well, no, just, you know, the calendar that we always update?
Yeah,
She's just
Google
referring to that. I misunderstood, I think, what,
This here, this says the Google Calendar, and this one's the one for January 2020,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But there's nothing that's been added or anything else. I write in.
We don't really have anything going on.
Right,
Yeah.
so there's
the,
not
the only stuff on there is, the
that-
only things on there are gonna be drama kids, yoga, and
Right,
Right.
right now.
once in a while the Boy Scouts.
So, okay,
Right.
all
And I'm
right,
just saying that, but also on the front page of the business page, I mean, on the Hanson page, there's also a calendar, a monthly that if you go to the rec department, where there's never anything there as to when our meetings are.
You
Something
don't,
like
you don't
BOA.
control that.
Yes, you do.
No,
Okay.
from the Hanson website?
It's on the Hanson website, you go to Recreation Commission. and
No, but
then
I'm
there's a
saying
calendar down
I've
below.
never been to, if I have power to change that, I have never been told that I can or showed that, how
Well,
to do
how
it.
do the people, other department, like Conservation Department, when they have a meeting, it's on that calendar. You know the calendar I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and I don't know whether or not department heads, that's beyond my
Have
knowledge.
privilege.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
mean,
if
I've
they
reached
have
out to Ryan
access or
on a
not.
separate matter about
I don't know.
the town page, but that has to do more with the hours than it does
Well,
my
I've seen,
calendars.
I've seen our meetings on the town calendar.
right,
I think there's a
for
generic one,
monthly,
like
yeah,
when we,
For all the departments.
when we
yeah.
put something through the town clerk, I think the generic calendar gets updated. If
Right.
there's one specific for I've never been
What
told
site
how
are
to
you
use
talking
it or.
about?
When I go on and if you do the rec commission on the bottom, if you do press the rec commission button, there's a little calendar that comes over to the right.
Right,
And it highlights what day you're on, but it doesn't say like tonight we had a meeting, it's not there. I mean, I don't know anything about.
I emailed Ryan because there's actually an issue. I'm obviously on there as the public records officer, but they have me as the administrative assistant, and then they have our hours screwed up, and then there was something else. So I've reached out to Ryan.
Check
'Cause
with Ryan, yeah.
I
Okay.
said, I don't know how to
Well,
update
let's
this. I don't
get
know
that.
if he does, but
let's find out who has the
yeah.
rights to do that,
Yeah.
the authority.
Yeah, because if it's just a matter of, okay, I gotta email somebody, here's
Yeah.
the dates for these meetings, and they put it on there, that's
Right,
fine,
and I
but-
think that probably is it, and you just need to switch the titles and add your name and things like that.
I mean, really, it's only selectmen and conservation. Those are the only meetings on the calendar, so maybe.
So we need to be added. Okay. Thanks for bringing that up, Joan. We can do that. So let us know who's got the authority on that. Anything else? Under new business? And some,
You under general correspondence, or you under new business?
When?
But I just
No.
want you to jump ahead,
sorry. Okay, where are we?
because she's at new business.
Well,
It sounds like you're jumping over to general.
General, yeah.
Right, so you're ahead of the game.
I just want.
Okay, what do you want? Go ahead. Just go.
Well, have we ever gotten rid of the cots and everything else that was considered surplus?
No, we will, but I've gotta find out from I don't know if it's highway that comes and takes it, dumps it, because she wants to have it scrapped so we can at least get some sort of.
Right, we want
Spiegel
it,
was usually the one that came for it before, I
Right.
believe.
Spiegel comes for
And
it.
then
Spiegel,
they
okay.
take it and dump it.
They're the ones that took all the stuff from the docks. They're out of Brockton.
So has it been designated as scrap?
It has. It was approved.
This stuff in Chalet too.
Everything's been,
Wait, I believe the commission did vote for the stuff in the small cabin too, so I just
Yes,
have
it
to
did.
I have to send that to them for approval. But other than that, they declared the kayaks that we need to get rid of,
Yep.
salvage, and all the stuff in
They
the
did the
Chalet.
cots,
okay.
I have two of them here.
So yeah, it's all salvage, that's it.
I
This
get rid
one
of
here
it.
was
Yep,
on 11/1/2019, and this one was on 7/19/18.
okay.
And it was the existing kitchen stove, so that's already been.
Great, so when it
That was
happens, we don't have to
ever-
worry about it.
Okay.
Did have you talked to Chris
I've
about the stove?
I haven't heard anything back from him. I did reach out to him a while ago. I did also hear from Bob Curran,
About the grant?
not the grant, but there was a guy bought an old restaurant. He said, if you wanna go over and look, he said, I looked at it and I don't think you'd want it, but the guy's just trying to get rid of the stuff that's in the kitchen. He said, granted, the restaurant has been open in 8 years, so literally nothing has been touched in 8 years. It might not be worth our time, but he said if we're able to use it, and 2, we're able to get it out of there, we can get it free. So, but,
Because we never went to the school.
Do we know where it is?
yeah, I gotta get the address from Bob and coordinate with the guy.
Alright,
And then I
so let's do that and, let's get an address and I would rather have somebody like Chris look at it, see if it's feasible, if it
Sure.
would work. So if he's willing to do that. Otherwise, we
Yeah,
have
I mean, my inclination's gonna be it's probably crap, and we
That's-
should just get the new one anyway.
I would prefer to get the new one since we have the grant money, but I don't want to, leave a stone unturned, so to
Yeah.
speak. Okay. Brian?
Not that I wanna hold off on getting rid of this metal, but if we use Spiegel, they're the ones that, split money with us last time, right? They took it away, but they gave us a percentage. Were they the ones that did the docks and gave us a
They
part of
did,
it?
yeah, they charged us for coming to get them. They didn't take a portion of it, I don't.
I thought we got some money out of getting rid of the scrap metal before.
We did, we got money for the docks,
But might
yeah, the metal.
we wanna wait for the stove project, because then you add more weight to just.
Yeah, but the docks were aluminum and that's kind
It's bigger money.
It's huge money compared to, this is, if you can get this out of here for zero,
Right.
you're gaining.
But do you wanna wait for the stove or just get rid of the cost now and then call them back with the
Do we
stove
get
later?
the co-
Or just-
kayak?
Would they even come back for the stove? Kayaks aren't metal.
No, I know, but if they get that,
Probably
you get
would.
rid
I
of
mean,
it.
it's
It's heavy.
heavy enough, so, I mean, all the guys will come for scrap if you tell them just take it out of here. But I would say just get rid of the kayak, everything you can right now.
Right now.
And then
I just wanted to make
stove
sure.
will be- yeah.
Okay.
They'll come back for the
So let's get
stove.
rid of the scrap,
Great.
it's already been approved. And since the Board of Selectmen is meeting every Tuesday this month, or for the next few weeks, anything else we need to have declared salvage, let's get that on there.
Yeah, I'll submit the one for the little shed there.
Okay, thank you. Warrants,
I sent them, I didn't send them on Friday, I just sent them
Right.
earlier
Yeah,
today.
you do that
I didn't
for
see anything that I was questioning, so I don't know if anybody else did. There was only
I have-
two.
I have my copies if you want them.
No, I was fine with everything.
Oh, I only saw the one, this was for the money that we're getting back for the month of November on the indirect costs.
The indirect costs?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we should be getting another one for December too.
Yeah.
But then
I
there
just-
was
I
another
got this.
warrant that was about
Yeah.
$600.
It was 6/15/28.
Right.
Yeah, it was
What was that?
some linen stuff.
Right, it
Verizon.
was all standard costs for sounder and everything else. So I didn't see anything there to question. Miscellaneous correspondence? Any?
I have none.
You
Okay.
have one from me,
Wait, which,
for miscellaneous correspondence,
which?
Republic.
Are you miscellaneous?
Oh, God, well, I didn't even
Oh,
wanna
please
bring
tell
that up
me.
yet, cause.
Oh,
it's
sorry,
still-
Billy.
No, it's okay.
It wasn't much of a
So I'll.
Well, you
keep
jump-
it up,
yeah.
keep it up. So.
we're a little closer, but
Yeah, so I was at the Mass Municipal Association conference this weekend, because, you know, every 28-year-old spends their weekend.
Because you
doing this.
have no
So-
life.
Right. So nonetheless, on the trades floor, there was Republic Trash Services. So I said, oh, great, they're gonna send their best and brightest out there, and their municipal contractor, right? So I met this
Did
guy, Chris, I believe his name is Chris, and he's the municipal contract specialist or
For-
whatever.
Right,
And I said, hey, got a question for you. Who do I have to talk to clear up a bill? And he said, oh, well, that's me. So I said, great. So I CC'd Billy and John on an email to Chris saying, I just wanted to introduce everyone. Billy, if you could follow up with any pertinent information so Chris can get a better idea of the picture. So that's what we did this morning. So
yeah, so I sent them a follow-up saying, thank you for looking into this. Here's the person I've been talking with. I last spoke to her on January 9th and she was supposed to get somebody to help us clear this up and haven't heard from anybody. But it sounds like this guy is the one that nobody's been able to introduce us to. So
Is he the account manager
I'll
for?
tell you
for
what,
municipality.
his title's like municipal, so like he's the guy.
Because we
It's
had an
Chris
account
Back-
manager.
what is it?
What happened to him?
Chris Messier,
Messier?
Messier, whatever, yeah, municipal service manager. So,
Okay,
business card, so we can't.
so there were two issues
That's
with
right.
that. One was clearing up the bill
Yes.
for the overage charge on the Cove dumpster
Yeah.
being here longer than we needed it.
That, and also
And
there's
then our-
possibly a mystery dumpster.
And there's a mystery dumpster we've been charged for, okay, that we need to know when they started charging us
Yeah.
for it, and we're not paying it, and we could possibly need reimbursement,
Yeah, I mean, this.
which would be, I'm sure, not forthcoming very easily.
No, I mean, and the good thing is, you know, I've checked, we still got room in the trash, so like we're not in dire need of, you know, getting that picked up, but if this needs, I can't see it needing to go to town council to get them involved, but
If this needs to, then we're doing it.
But yeah, I don't think it will, but.
And I want the exact date that contract ends.
Okay, yeah, I know it's July, but I'll find out.
It's this July.
Yes, it's done this year. We
Yeah,
are
so
getting rid of
who
them.
are we getting? Because
Anybody
July,
else.
yeah, like, can we
Yeah, well,
get
I'll
that
ask, whoever the town, because we should use our
Brian?
town uses.
Who did you suggest?
I mean, there's ABC and
We have
then,
ABC out of New Bedford, which is
Noonan.
good. Noonan is another one.
Make a bid on it. Go into a bid
Yeah,
war.
you definitely bid it out because it's gonna be competitive.
I get the one from the gun club that replaced our public service.
Okay.
But usually when you have dumpsters, there'll be like a serial number on them. So if you have a dumpster that is in question, usually you have to know the size and what number dumpster that is. And if they're charging you for it, then, okay, they might be charging you for this mysterious dumpster. Mysterious dumpsters usually get dumped.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dory, so when we get this new contract, and you really need meticulous records on this.
Well, and
Yeah.
I also don't think we should sign a 3-year deal with anybody.
No, we're not.
That was stupid.
Right.
Who does the town use? Republic?
Yeah.
No, we use ABC, well, for the transfer station, it's ABC Specialties, and we're having issues with
With
those.
that, I wouldn't go to
They're
the.
up.
I think in general, trash is just an issue
Well, it
because
is, yeah.
China's not taking our trash
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
So, you know, and not that I blame China.
Not
So,
taking our recycling either.
what was that?
Not taking our recycling either.
Why should they?
Yeah.
You know, so let's
So I'm at
big-
least hopeful now that, thank you, Matt, now that we
problem.
get this guy Chris involved.
Sounds like it's good timing then, to go to bid and get
All
somebody.
right, so let's,
I know, and I bit my tongue the other day because we were at a department meeting and somebody said for a different department, they were potentially gonna look at Republic.
oh my God, did you tell them not?
I will, I didn't wanna, I did everything I could to really not scream out loud and be like, no, they've not.
Okay. All right, so that can be added to the list.
Yeah.
I know your list grows, but, so no miscellaneous correspondence after Republic. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that.
Time clock, do we have all our caretakers on the time clock?
I am still figuring out how to get Ed on it because I finally have found the disc for it, which is now uploaded onto my computer. But there's a couple of issues of the way that's hooked up. It's not hooked up to the real internet, it's hooked up to the fake one that doesn't actually exist here. So I've been trying to download the punch stuff and it's not working. But there is some data that has come, but it's, again, because it hasn't been set up on the computer, it's tracking things.
Can we get
But-
our IT person to set it up?
I will try. I've been trying to get him to help me with some other stuff too. I don't know if he's,
Is
I
this
know he's
something
got-
that John will help us with? maybe?
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to just put a bug in his ear for you.
yeah, I mean, it's,
These are things that were recommended as improvements after the investigation,
Mhm.
so we want to put them into place
yeah, I mean,
properly.
I just found, so the good thing is it does come with, you can click on something and it brings you to the online instructions. So I found the section of how to now add somebody's fingerprint. So he's the last one, everybody else, you
Their
know, because I
fingerprints
can,
and-
yeah.
Right, okay,
And it's all, so there's just the one more, now that I found that, I can go through and get that done.
so is he manually punching in, or are you filling out
Everybody is
Physical
still
time
doing,
card.
they're doing the time clock and their sheets,
in the sheet, so you got both?
so we're doing both.
okay. Anything else
When
with
all
that?
else fails, especially the internet around this place,
Yeah,
paper still works.
On that subject, the upgrade, where is that as far as?
The fiber,
The fiber.
at the last department head meeting, I mean, they were in the process, but I don't even think they were anywhere near us yet, so.
But it's ongoing.
It is ongoing.
Is that an IT question now too? As far as
That would
where we
be,
are with that?
I can ask Ryan too. I know it's ongoing and it's. gonna
Yeah,
take
and
a
I mean, we're gonna be at the end, because what they're gonna have to do, or what they were looking at doing is, in the back, they actually wanna run an underground conduit. They said it's not gonna make sense with all the trees to keep running
No, it's
stuff.
not.
Yeah. So
as
depending
long as
on,
they don't hit any septic pipes.
Well, those plans are new, so we should be okay. Because if we had done it with this 50-year-old septic, anything can happen. But
Right.
those are relatively new.
yeah, I mean, as long as the ground's still gonna be manageable, I mean, you know, it may have to wait if they get to us and they're gonna run stuff underground and they can't
Okay.
get at it, but, I mean, the update is, you know,
It's ongoing, we're on
it's
the
in the
radar.
process. But yeah, we're gonna
It's
be
a
the
long
last
way
ones, cause we get tied in after the council on aging, and
Okay. Which makes no sense to
Yeah.
me, but, okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yep, last time Deb Bloss was here, and we were talking about her contract, I mentioned to her, please, when she comes and goes from yoga, to take her sign with her. Just like the drama kids do, they put it out when they're working, when they're not working, it goes with them. We talked about that, when Marie was here.
Yep.
And she just stopped doing it. I've been nice enough not to kick it off when I drive down the street, but she shouldn't be advertising 24 hours a day here at the club. So when she's here, it went out when she was gone, and that was, again.
with the little A-frame up at the top of the street.
There were people in the town that complained.
Yeah.
She used to have a
That-
hanging sign.
It was here all the time. She had a different type of sign, so she kindly got an A-frame that she could remove for when she wasn't here.
So-
Otherwise, it looks like we are sponsoring it and advertising, which is, we're not allowed to do. Some people are want to adhere to that rule very strictly, so technically she does need to remove it when she's not here. Drama Kids brings their sign when they're here, they remove it when they leave. That is supposed to be the case with all other vendors. Because we have people in the town.
Yeah. Well,
What about her contract and then working on
well, the only thing I know that she said there was a suggestion of trying to have recreation take it over. And I went and talked to Todd, because essentially what we'd be doing is kind of making her somewhat of a town employee, which,
Which we're not
no,
doing.
because then she would have to get covered under the town's liability, and
Right.
it just ups their cost, so.
Okay.
So that's about as far as we go with
So it
that.
has to stay a vendor.
So it has to stay a vendor.
Did you and Deb meet?
We haven't met in depth, just because she knew that I was coming to the meeting, so the things we touched on is, okay, yeah, you're not gonna be able to, you're gonna have to kind of stay the way it is, and I said, and I'll find out from Rick kind of where we go from here and how you guys want to proceed. Because obviously, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with the contract.
We will reconvene with her in March. We pressed that till.
Yeah, that was what it was. I
Okay.
think March 31st, we were
Yeah,
supposed to have another meeting with her.
Okay.
And what she was questioning is the fact that we charge her either what, caretaker's fee or what have you, and she was
When
questioning.
somebody is here already and we don't really technically need a caretaker.
Well, I don't know if that's how she's billed or not. We'd have to look at her bills to see how it is.
The way I would like to build all vendors, including, you know, drama kids, which it never seems to be a problem because they have a huge turnout. But maybe look into changing these contracts to 80/20 or $15 per hour to cover at least the caretakers while they're here, or $15 an hour just usage fee, because no business is gonna go into anywhere in this town and say, well, I'm gonna use this for free. You have to pay no matter where you go. You're not gonna go to town hall and start running yoga and everything else. I don't think $15 an hour is that bad. Personally. I mean, and it also drives her to advertise her business here. Because again, she's a for-profit, she's not a non-profit, and if we can't.
Right, and but on the flip side of that, and just to play devil's advocate, she does have a lot of competition, and we don't offer anything else here at the camp, and she has been a constant all that time. So, I
And
think
her
this.
program has got, I've seen it at least grow since the time I've been here. I mean, that being said, still, yeah, I mean,
We don't want to put anybody out of business. And we do want to have something here at the camp for people. So I think your point is definitely valid, Brian. We don't want to lose money either.
I mean, I just don't wanna get paid $1.50,
Right,
you know what
I
I mean?
understand that.
For heating the place and all that, and I get they do outside, but again,
Right,
you're not gonna go anywhere for free and run your business.
right.
Well, she needs to get more of a commitment from her base.
Right.
I mean,
Which seems to be pretty good.
Yeah.
She had some good people there.
I mean, you can't pay as you go everywhere.
But, I mean, that's why she has her base though, because
Because,
especially her demographic, they're not always able to make it to all of them, so, you know, if they've gotta, you know, pay a monthly thing though, and it's like, oh, I didn't go to those classes, now I'm out that money. I, you know, get both sides.
and now she's competing with ghosts apparently.
Yeah, now there's goat yoga,
Yeah.
which I think is
Down that-
one of the stupidest things I've heard, but,
I'm sorry, I laugh every time.
Well, the library, I guess, offers yoga for $5 and she charges 10.
Right,
Yeah.
just so that she can cover.
Yeah.
How many people can the library handle for yoga? Where do they put the yoga? The only place that they can do it is in the senior center.
Well, I don't know. Regardless, I really feel as though I wanna nurture this relationship and not have it be confrontational. So I'm hoping we come to a meeting of the minds with it in March, but in the meantime, I'd like to focus on ways that we can make more money on bigger events rather than, for lack of better phrasing at this moment, nitpicking on $15 every time for yoga. So, this is gonna bring me, unless anybody has anything else.
I know, I bring this up all the time about music. And it
Yep.
doesn't, it can just be an acoustic duo. Brian has connections, John has connections. Joan, I mean.
Well, let's bring them to Billy and he can reach out.
Yeah, you know, it could be something up until we get to spring, you know, just,
yeah.
You wanna reach out, make some phone calls?
Yeah.
You know, get people to come in, do lessons or
it could be lessons, it could be just, you know, some
concerts,
acoustic.
acoustic
Maybe reach out
night
to the,
playing, coffee
music
house
teacher
type
at high
things.
school.
Well, the coffee house, you gotta
Do
work
like
with the
lessons?
association,
Or like
that's a whole
concerts or
thing, but.
something. See if he has any.
I'm sorry, what, hold on. One at a time, so that,
But
No, I was just saying the, music teacher, music director at the high school. Yeah. See if he has any concerts coming up.
well, we've reached out to him before, and
Yes,
there's
they did.
always a scheduling issue. John and I started the dialogue,
Yeah.
but
right,
it was, you're trying to get an open mic night
Yeah.
off the ground, but it just didn't work.
so maybe we need a
Maybe we
person.
can try again.
If we
Right.
could try and get someone to sponsor a night, I mean, we have like the first Friday of every month, and we have a thing that's sponsored and it goes to the benefit of the music department of the high school, so, but there is one person that runs it.
Organizes it.
Right, he organizes it and he sets up the schedule. In fact, they use the old, what's it from, place in Boston that used to be there, but anyways, bands from there plus high school. So I mean, you try and get the kids that have their own groups in high school.
Yep.
And work that way, but I mean, the idea is to get someone who would want to do the work to set it up.
I mean, you can reach out to the two.
It's an
So maybe you guys can give him some numbers to kind of reach out to, and you can,
Yeah, and I
See
get
how
some
that
other
goes.
people, I mean, we could try to, like, I mean, Sound Check Studios, they have, I
great,
mean, they're,
just
I
bring
mean,
it,
they're like a practice space, they have practice space and then event space. I mean, we could try to look at doing stuff similar to that, or even,
well, why don't you take these numbers and
Yeah.
you guys can put together whatever, you know, I mean, you can use your contacts, their contacts, combination of
oh
whatever,
yeah,
just to get some music in.
Yeah, I mean, we can just start, I mean, we don't have to bring a full band in here.
Right. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, these Joan and John have the connections,
Right,
and they know what's gonna draw,
so
you know, that,
get in touch.
oh, we'll bring in some music, we'll get the bar going.
Well, it's like
Okay.
if you had to get
Sell some
someone who's
pizza.
interested in sponsoring.
we'll
Okay.
have to follow.
In the next meeting, we do have to start filling the articles that we
Okay.
have to set up the prices on.
Yep.
That's part of the agenda, because that has to be done and turned in to them by March 6th, so
Okay,
that'll give us time to work on
so
it.
that can go on next week's agenda, next time's agenda.
Yeah, and we can have the finalized ones for that end
Okay,
of February.
in the interest of time, it's 8:10, so I'm gonna move on unless there's anything else. Okay, business plan, I know Juby is not here and I know you guys have been working on it.
Well, yeah, my question is from last meeting, were there any changes or updates to make?
I did, I'm sorry? We did, we passed over it
Okay,
in the interest of time.
okay.
Okay, so one thing I would like, in talking to Juby about the wedding expo, I was wondering if we could institute some sort of policy, I guess, where if, you know, if we're not booked on a date, and you book like last minute in our non-busy season or whatever, that we can give a reduced rate just to fill up these weekends.
Yeah,
So I know we would have to take it to the Board of Selectmen.
yeah,
You know, if we could put something out that says, you know, these are the weekends that are available in the next 6 months if you want to book.
we're looking to do this specifically for weddings, is that what you're saying? Okay.
For weddings, yes. And maybe, you know, instead of $5,000 for Saturday, it's, you know, $3,000. Or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be in the business plan anyway, that would be part of when you do the rental rates and stuff like
Right.
that, which is another thing we have to work on.
Right,
Well, we're just
but
doing this kind of, not like a flash sale, but,
Promo.
it's promotional,
Okay.
which is why I put it toward the business plan that we were going to start looking at ways to promote.
oh, okay. So we're gonna actually look to do this, but we also wanna add it to,
Possibly,
okay.
okay? So that was, I mean, if it meets Board of Selectmen approval, if the business plan meets it with something like that in it, then of course we would take the next step, Joan, and put it into changing the rates, policies and procedures, et cetera.
Right.
Well, but would we always want it to be in effect though? Like, wouldn't we be more so doing it like, hey, from,
Well,
again,
that's what I want your feedback, I
Yeah.
want your, you know,
yeah, well, I think in putting it kind of in like policies and procedures as a whole might need to be a little generic just because we don't wanna, because it may vary a little bit year to year what holes we're looking at.
Right.
Fill.
right,
Um,
exactly, you're right. I mean, and as the camp, hopefully as, maybe we won't always need it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because I mean, definitely, I mean,
it can be
'Cause our
done as a
weddings really-
promotional for 1 year or whatever.
yeah. Because our wedding, I mean, end of May is kind of where we start, so if we could even do it, you know, discounting kind of like March and April,
Right. Or even, you know, February.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it's pretty much, I know it's busy until Christmas. And then January through March or mid-April is sort of the non-busy season. So if
Yeah,
we
I
put,
think if we could get, yeah, a couple weddings, January, February, March,
it would make a large difference.
yeah,
So even if we need
we don't do
to,
any weddings.
right, so something is better than nothing. And if we could have it be a promotional,
Yeah. Maybe, or if we wanted to kind of
I just
not
thought,
dumb it down, but maybe if you book a wedding in January, February, March, $1,000 off.
right,
So a Saturday would go from 5 to 4, Fridays and Sundays would go from 35 to
whatever we
25.
all agree on. I'm just saying, I think it should be part of the business plan as, that we're planning some sort of promotional. And then from there, if it meets with good reviews or approval, then we can take the next step.
We also, actually, I don't know if it's in here or not, but I'll add it, I still haven't heard back on trying to find out if we can do some sort of like event liability policy or whatever that people can opt to purchase instead of doing $1,000 security. I
We
think
didn't
that.
hear back from town council?
No, so that was going to, they were reaching out to, I think, Hannon Murphy or
The
Hannon.
insurance people,
Yeah, so I
right,
just don't
Mary
know.
had said that.
Yeah, so I'll
We
follow
need
up.
to- Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, so, event policies. Insurance policy. Okay. That was all I had on the business plan. Lodge hours, Brian.
Could I just jump back to general for maybe 2 seconds? This Wednesday, from what I understand, there is gonna be a meeting to go over bills review. I know for sure that Mary said you were gonna be there.
I am.
Is that definite? I talked to John today and he didn't have an answer yet.
I got an email last week saying it was Wednesday at 4.
Okay,
I got
yeah, I
it.
asked him and he goes, I think he was waiting to hear from Mary, because I think
Mary was waiting to
she
hear
was
from me.
waiting to confirm.
Yeah, she told me Wednesday at 4, she said,
Okay.
so, she told me Wednesday. I said 4 because that's when I can make it.
I know that was a big concern, was to make sure that,
Yeah.
because you have school and whatnot. I would also like, because usually there's 2 car members there to go over that stuff. According to Mary's email, that's what she would do.
Right.
I was wondering if I could put forth a motion that John Zuko shows interest in being there, and Brian Smith, along with yourself, be there for this process?
I have emailed Mary asking her that, as well as, I told her to include John in on that. I have not heard back.
Do we have to motion something like that, Matt?
Is that
Or
for
is it
this
separate?
Wednesday?
Yes.
So would there be, are you talking a quorum of,
There would not be a quorum,
Wouldn't be a
it would be
quorum.
3. But I just want to make sure that the 2, because Brian would like to be involved, and John Zuko on the entertainment side would like to be involved along with Diane, as opposed to just 2.
I'll happily not be involved.
Ain't happening.
I would defer to Mary on that. I don't know, or I should say John, you know what I mean?
Right,
Because
and I
John's
didn't
now the-
have his email
Oh,
yet.
oh, do you need it, or do you have it?
Yeah, I would like it,
Okay,
because I didn't want to seem rude, so I just kind of used Mary's email address, but wrote it to both of them. So if you're watching this meeting, John, no disrespect intended. Yeah,
So should I motion this pending John's?
I would
Or
just,
do you
yeah,
need a motion?
I don't even think it needs one. I don't think there's an
motion.
official policy on this.
Right.
There isn't, but I remember during certain things, Laura Kim had said that, the more people kind of, the merrier, as long as you get.
She wants it transparent, right, I get it. Okay, so
Or you get a copy, whatever you want.
when I find out, you guys will know.
That's it.
That's
We
all
don't
I
have
need to say.
anything on policies and procedures, anything all we're talking about business.
No, not since the email Brian sent out to myself, Mary.
Yeah, I don't know who was gonna give it to the attorney, I don't know the attorney's email, so I don't know if Mary was gonna do it, or John was gonna do it, or you were gonna do it.
Well,
Got
I'm not
lost
allowed to,
somewhere. Yeah, you're not.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't have any interaction with town council.
I know, there's just a lot of transition right now.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, last thing, lodge hours, did you have anything?
Yeah, we spoke at the last meeting about, we were talking about concerns with changing the web hours from 9 to 2 to whatever, till 9 to 5. We had also spoke about, Teresa Cochio was very adamant when Josh was here, going to the town administrator,
Very much so.
stating that department heads has to work 9 to 5. Has to be posted 9 to 5, and they have to work 9 to 5. I think I CC'd you on this, right, as an idea for the director's hours, whereas.
I haven't seen it.
Just put forth your proposal now. 'cause
Okay.
it was-
What I proposed, to keep it simple, was during meeting nights, obviously, you're working extra hours. So I'm here.
Don't worry.
So if it's 3 hours that you're working extra, if it's 4 hours you're working extra, if it's 2 hours you're working extra, you should obviously, you can't go over 40, so you should be, taken care of for that period of time. And again, they were dead set, again, setting it to 9 to 5, so I figure maybe, people wanna weigh in, it's up to everyone. Changing the hours back to 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I believe, and I don't know if they've talked to you about every other Saturday, I don't know what your contract reads or anything like that. Because I know Lon was every other Saturday for the visits.
See, and I didn't even know, I just knew that she would come in on Saturdays, and that's actually what I have to talk to Mary about, is scheduling Dory's time, like how that actually works, so that,
I think
one,
she
we're
took one day
abiding by your
off.
contract, but, making sure that you're not
yeah.
getting any undue benefit.
Did they give you anything?
No, I haven't seen anything in writing
This is
regarding
the one-
Saturdays.
This is the one
Hold
from
on,
17.
hold on to it, hold on.
Okay, well, I got
Let Mary
3 or 4.
and John take care of the new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is that if, say if her contract is 25 hours a week, if she knows she's got 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday that she's gonna be doing tours,
Right.
then yeah, she cuts out early on Friday, or something like that.
It's
And
a-
that's, my understanding is that that's, I think, okay. I just want to confirm that with Mary to see if there's any
Did Lon
stipulation.
go-
Right,
Did
works
Lon
as
go over that?
Sometimes.
She went over that, right?
Well, sometimes she had to, yeah, and that's,
Lon did go over that, and,
Is that what?
but she wasn't paid.
Yes, she was.
sometimes, not always.
No, not always.
Yeah, there were times
She was
when,
paid for some of them, because we approved her being paid for it, so.
But you
We,
should be
we
paid.
got a lot of free.
Please don't.
Yeah.
But it does say.
especially like the weekend stuff, she could have been getting the time and a half.
So,
It says
if you could find out, again, I don't know if she's required to work every other, we don't do HR, so we don't know.
It says which may
If
include.
she works one Saturday or 2 Saturdays a month, I think Lon would take a certain day, like a Wednesday or Thursday off that week, or she would cut
Yeah,
part of her
depending
day
on,
out.
yeah, depending on
When she
how
saw
many
how it worked.
towards, yeah.
So your final proposal.
And what I would like to do with your schedule, is change this back to 9 to 5, but, say tomorrow morning, instead of you coming in at 9 o'clock, because there's no sense in me, you know, 2 people here at 9 o'clock, she's here at 9 anyways. Maybe you come in at noon to 5, you know what I mean, so you kinda,
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather save it till Friday anyway.
everybody
Yeah.
would, but I'd rather have you come in late than leave early.
Well,
Only because we have the 9 to 5 and I'd like to keep it constant across the board. And again, I get the town hall thing where they close early, but we're kind of not the town hall.
Especially during the busy season.
Correct.
I see what you're saying.
And that would, to me, at least alleviate the 9 to 5 problem, and you would get a little bit of rest the next day. You would be, you know, what you saying, we had 9 o'clock last morning. That's just my thought, I mean,
yeah,
again, everybody's here can.
Do we have any thoughts on this?
Works for 7 hours, or flexible.
All right, we're not talking about that, no.
But I understand that, but
Correct.
it's
Please
written.
stay on
but
topic.
It
Thank
is
you.
on topic.
Hey,
It's
you
not
two
about-
fight at home.
We're on Billy right now. We're talking about Billy's schedule.
oh, if you wanna put me down to 27 hours, yeah.
No, I'm talking
Sure,
about.
I didn't wanna get
that.
It does say flexible.
It's on camera, right?
2 hours.
27 hours? Beautiful.
I don't know, it's just a proposal.
Is the, is his, yours 40 or 35? 40.
And so the biggest, the crux of this whole thing is the Friday, correct?
I mean,
We wanna have somebody consistently here.
Correct, during the business
Till
hours.
5.
So
Till 5 o'clock.
at least one person. Dory is typically here until 2, correct?
Correct.
9 to 2.
9 to 2.
And then
Which is the posted business office.
abs, okay,
So that's where they got changed.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, remember, once that was changed to 9 to 5.
Well, yeah, and right now, I mean, it says on the town of Hanson website, it says 9 to 5. Everything else has been changed to 2.
that's an issue then.
Well, but I mean, the business office is slated that it's supposed to be 9 to 2.
Yeah, that changed with Teresa
Yeah.
going, she went to
I mean,
the town administrator at the time and she said, this is the way it needs to be, they're a department head, yeah, yeah. And
So
I wasn't there, but I know there was a lot
I
of.
mean, I looked to see
So I think
if it's
this
in
is-
writing and all that, sure, but I mean, if it's just,
So on Wednesday then, I will talk to John
And I'm just trying to think of a resolve for that.
for clarification.
Right.
and we can certainly put the hours to 5, it's just there are gonna be some days I'm not gonna be here till 5.
That
Whether
was
it's because-
always understood.
Yeah, whether I'm either at town hall or, yeah, like,
Well, no, I mean, if you're at town hall, and again, a couple of times I did pull in during the week, you weren't here, there wasn't a sign on the door, so if you could.
there's
put one
the
up.
signs right on the window
Oh, well, I didn't see it, I didn't. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm used to looking at the door.
I put it there because anytime I've hung a sign on that door.
It goes off.
Yeah, so,
Believe
Find
me,
it better
I get it.
sign. But-
What are we thinking? Do you have any thoughts on this, Mr. Dyer?
I was checking with John because it's kind of, I mean, I'm just one voice, and I
Yeah.
was checking with John because it's more of an HR issue than
Right,
just
so
mine.
I'm gonna talk to him about that on hopefully Wednesday. I don't know if that is even been confirmed yet.
Can we put something on the door that's almost like a magnetic sign or something small, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
over the top? You have a company or a town
Town cell
cell phone,
phone.
if you go down the street to the town hall and somebody comes up here and Dory's gone, call me on my cell, that's all.
So right now, what's on there is my email and this number. Because what has happened is the few times I've given out
Yourself.
my cell,
The town
the
cell.
town one
Yeah,
doesn't stop. And I wouldn't met if it's the fire chief or anything else, but when it's literally a question about like linens or something
so
that,
you shut it off at 5 o'clock.
well, all I'm saying is that I can still correspond with people and I don't have to give them out the number that, when I know this phone is ringing, I know that it's either you or it's literally something of importance. Like something where it's, I was coming by to find out what color, tablecloths you had for the tables.
Well, one thing you can do, and this happens with me too, is sometimes you can set up your email to ring your phone, like a voicemail. Does that capability even exist? Like if
Here,
somebody
probably
calls.
not.
Just so you know, our email, I used that in middle school.
Yeah.
That version of Outlook in middle school in early 2000. So I know that we have some, there's the technology out there
challenges.
that will allow you to ring through an email or whatever,
Your
but
landline goes to your.
we're still in 1990. Yeah.
We're that far along?
Like to me, 1990 doesn't sound that
I was
long
thinking
ago,
DOS.
but-
I stopped that.
Okay, why don't I defer to John with this and we
Right,
can
which is
see, let's see if we can find some meeting of the mind with this, okay? All right. We'll get clarification on exact hours that this place needs to technically be open, and somebody here to, or somewhere to be reached during business hours. Does that sound reasonable for now?
Works for me.
Yeah? Okay. All right, so I will talk to John on that.
We need the next meeting dates.
We do. Okay, next meeting dates. All right. So, how about the 10th and the 24th? Do those work for February?
We're changing the hours to 6:15, is that what they are now?
Yeah.
That works good for you, huh? Yeah,
It
couple
does, I
minutes.
need the 15 minutes.
And so that meeting on the 24th,
Yeah,
we can just make sure our business plan stuff finalized because we're on the docket for the selectmen on the 25th.
okay.
Okay, now before I adjourn, Matt, did you ever get a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because Julie was gonna send, at the last meeting, Julie was gonna send Matt a copy, to
Yep.
make sure that's what that he was looking for as a board member. Just to make sure, we weren't going too left, too right.
Right, we kind of reviewed it,
Okay, great.
and we're in touch about that.
Yeah, she said she was gonna call me about it, that you had some great ideas, so.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that you.
Yep,
were locked in. Great,
Yep, thank you.
Okay,
ready? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor? Meeting is officially adjourned. It is 8:29? 8:29.